technical difficulties for the past 2 hours. We're ready to go.
We're about ready to rock and roll.
Don't even. What? No.
Nah,
don't even mess around
we're
right
fine.
now.
Don't even look at this
Thank
equipment.
you, though.
Don't even look at it.
When we take a break, Lee, maybe we'll pop them up. Yeah.
No, we gave up our right
Of course,
for a break.
by then,
no breaks.
By then, I'll be knocked unconscious already by a ball from Carlos Bocanegra. We'll know when a ball screaming by puts a hole through the tent.
Yeah, he might call a shot on you, too. I hear Riddle over there.
They're sick and tired of me mentioning that. I'm in their mentions all the time. They're sick of it.
All right, so we're live. Okay, thank you,
right.
Tim. I
What
did
up,
it.
Tim?
I did it, Tim.
Kevin did it.
I couldn't get the camera to work, but the audio sounds great, apparently. So we are here.
We are here, guys. We
Finally.
finally
Yes,
made
sir.
it happen. But
Sober.
somewhat sober.
If there was any
Wish I
alcohol,
wasn't.
it'd all
That's
be
a
gone
rumor.
at this point. The amount of hassle it took to get this thing up and running. So
Yeah, all for you guys, definitely.
So
But,
thanks to everyone for having us out. Soccer on the Streets, Atlanta United. Anybody else we need to mention? Bojangles for a biscuit.
delicious
Bojangles
biscuits.
biscuit.
All the podcasters that are out here. We only have 4 mics, but we have Siempre United out here as
Indeed.
well.
Shout out to those guys.
You'll
They'll
see
be
it.
on in just a minute. We'll be rotating out throughout the day. And then down the line, introduce ourselves. I'm Kevin with Home Before Dark.
I'm AJ with Atlanta United Fan TV.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm Jay Riddle with Unrelegated.
Jason Longshore, soccer down here.
And this is you guys' second time out here. How many times have you been out to the Champions League event?
Well, see, I used to work for Soccer in the Streets, so this is the 8th Champions League event, and it's grown from 4 teams that played at Austin Field across from the Brew House to 12 now. The first year it raised, I want to say $16,000 to build a field at an Atlanta Rec Center. This year it looks like if everything goes well on the day, it could raise $150,000 today.
That just trumps the 7,000 that the podcast community raised by.
But that's the thing.
20-fold.
And for those of you out there who are like, well, my donation's not going to matter. I mean, I was on the other side of it. And with Soccer in the Streets, every dollar helps because you're talking
Absolutely.
about kids who don't have access to play, don't have shin guards, don't have cleats, don't have a way to get to training, don't have a way to buy a uniform. All of the things that it's easy to take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this money goes to. And even $1. If you come out here and you go to an event, you buy a raffle ticket, that can go a long way. And the organization is so good at stretching every dollar that comes in.
Even with that, though, all the life building stuff that they do, Jay went and did some of that with the Clarkston kids just a couple weeks ago. But they do so much for the professional, social, community aspect for those kids, more so than just playing soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear about your experience with Clarkston, but from my experience with it, I got to coach a team for a while. I coached a team down in East Point called Estudiantes. It was all kids from Mexico, a couple kids from Uruguay. And I loved it because I got to learn their culture. They got to, really learn more about the mainstream American soccer culture. And it was just a cool blend of learning from both of our ends. And, those guys now are like young adults and they have families and, they still check in. They still call me coach for some reason, which is funny. But they're like little brothers to me. So, everybody who works for this organization and you guys, I'm so glad y'all are getting to know the organization, know the kids. It really does have a family feel to it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. I just went for an hour. That was it. It only took an hour of my time. I went down to Clarkston. It was very easy. I just let them know, hey, I'm on the volunteer list. If you need volunteers for things, just give me a shout. I got an email, said, can you be here Friday at X time, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock to do mock interviews with the kids, and it's something that I do actually go in as part of my company to recruit actual, college kids, that sort of stuff. So I'm used to interacting and doing those sorts of things. So I had a lot of fun with those kids. And, then they run on the field and start playing soccer right afterwards. So it was just sort of a squeeze in, before they start practice, just to give them something different. And so the ability to kind of see what it'd be like to kind of go to a job interview and those sorts of things. It was really cool. And by the way, AJ, thanks for letting us use your Atlanta United Fan TV YouTube channel.
Oh, no worries, guys. Yeah.
To broadcast.
Everybody's welcome. Thank you guys for watching from all the different.
I'm sorry we lost all your subscribers and all the countless tests
no
that
worries,
we
no
had to
worries.
get
Like,
on.
man, I'm out of here.
15 test feeds.
Yeah,
So
sorry about that.
That's been the other cool thing for me is to see what's going on with all of this is to see Siempre United, Atlanta United Fan TV, Home Before Dark, Unrelegated, Soccer Down Here, all work together on a project like this. I think this doesn't happen in many cities.
And it was still a complete mess to get it off the ground.
Doesn't matter.
It happened. It happened. That's all that matters.
You should have seen the You should have seen the fist fight earlier. It was we
thought Jay was going to have a
Jarrett would have been here, but he's down over there in the parking lot.
Thought Jay might have fallen
Jay
off the
took him
wagon
out with a
if it
steel
went on
chair.
too much longer.
throwing down early. Well, I need to take out the big guy early, in the game.
That's
So
always what. Yeah.
So John's watching his back over here just in case.
eyes behind the back of his head.
So the plan for the rest of the day, we'll be rotating in and out. Our schedule's completely borked at this point, but we'll be rotating out, having all the content providers in and out, having guests on. Darren, hopefully he'll come over. Carlos, Jillian, we saw over here just a few minutes ago. Hopefully get her on. And if there's a free spot, come up. We got 4 mics, and hopefully we'll have one empty at all times except for guests. So thanks for checking us out, guys. I'm going to step away and get Dan in here. He's got family responsibilities. He's going to take my spot for a little while. Plus, I've been sweating it up over here trying to get this equipment going. So,
and guys, if you could, so far you guys have been so generous to the various podcasts. To collectively, we have all the content creators here today have raised over $1,600 for the Clarkston FC initiative as part of the whole umbrella of the Soccer on the Streets fundraising. But we still need help. We would love if you could help us out a little bit more. Anything you could provide. If you could head over, it's just bit.ly, so bit.ly/give to ATL CL 2018. So it's just like the hashtags. It's going to be give to ATL CL 2018. And if you go there and you donate, or you just go to the Soccer on the Streets page, you'll see it. And at the Atlanta United page, make a donation, and then in the message, if you hashtag podcast, put hashtag podcast. We're going to be checking that throughout the day, and we'll give you a live shout out. So very cool. Hey, Dan.
Awesome. Thanks for having me out, guys.
Yeah.
And finally, this is the first time I've been managing to actually come to a non-studio event, apart from going to the game.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's been good. I just wanted to talk about the Clarkston FC team. So being a first-generation immigrant myself, I can kind of, although I have a lot different background to the kids in the team, but as those kids being immigrants themselves, it is a huge accomplishment that they've been doing themselves. Like I was talking to Phil, the executive chairman of Soccer on the Streets. They put together instead of doing a car wash, they put to raise money for their team. They put together a Champions League tournament yesterday to raise money for their team. I think they raised about $300, which is more than they got from a car wash, and probably less liability as well. So shout out to them. It's just an incredible achievement. I think this is a fantastic cause. I was happy to donate some money to them. So shouts out to them, and best of luck to them.
Did you bring any barbecue with you, Dan?
I
Did you
didn't
rub any
bring-
meats?
Well, so
I saw you pull up in your limo earlier just to drop off, so I wasn't sure if they fit that.
That's right. I didn't bring any meat, though. Yeah, I've had kind of a sparse breakfast. So
You didn't get the Bojangles?
Yeah, we got some Bojangles
man.
biscuits, man. If
I might be walking down to Bojangles here in a few minutes.
So this year, Jason, it's 12 teams, right?
12 teams.
It was 16 last year. And then how does this kind of work? So we got teams rotating through different
So it's a round
fields.
robin. You've got 4 groups of 3. It's a round robin. The top 2 teams in each group will go into quarterfinals and semis in a final. Then you have a loser's bracket as well. But you also have like a concurrent competition for teams trying to raise the most money. So that's what's cool about this event is you do have a champion on the field, but you have a champion off the field who raises the most money, and they're treated equally.
Now we saw Darren just pull by. Will we seeing some action from Darren Eels today?
You might see a diving header from Darren Eels. You might see a bicycle kick. I've seen it before. The guy can play.
Yeah, he can ball. Yeah,
I don't think he's going to suit up on Wednesday in the Open Cup, but I wouldn't put it past him.
Maybe he'll have better odds than Joseph. I think Joseph has had like 37 bicycle kick attempts this season. He's still trying though.
So we're not even an hour in, and we're already slagging Joseph. That's where we're at here.
I'm just saying. I mean, the guy got a hat trick. He could take some heat for his bicycle.
Man, the guy. The guy has, oh man, here we go. The guy has 5 hat tricks in 34 games.
Exactly.
The guy has 31 goals in 34 games. Nobody's done this, and we're criticizing him.
What was
It's
it? What was it?
Sorry,
Mike
well, he could have
Hockey's-
scored 36 goals.
Yeah.
So what was
Oh
it?
man.
We are so spoiled, Jason. I feel like
It blows my mind
we've
sometimes.
set the bar so high last season that we just want more, and we expect the same thing. I agree. It's totally unreasonable. But I feel like as fans, we should not be reasonable.
And he's the Golden Boot leader right now, so it's like
It's so entertaining to me after matches to see what the response is going to be.
Now, Mike Conti tweeted out a stat last night. He
Yeah.
said Joseph Martinez has only been offside twice in like 330 some minutes.
yeah, right.
So he don't want to hear it anymore.
He's
Hey,
working on it.
honestly, he can be offside 10 times in a match if he's going to score 31 goals in 34 games. That's a season. You know, he did it over a year and a half because of injury, but 31 goals in an MLS season has never
CJ
happened.
Sapong's still trying to get
Amen.
one. So, you know.
Well, hey, New England was really excited. Teal Bunbury scored, I think, 15 in 30 games.
That
and
was
that's a
big
great
for
rate.
him.
Well,
Yeah.
Joseph has doubled that.
Yeah.
And we have problems with him. But anyway.
I love it. And we'll get into some of that today because we have a lot to break down today while we're talking about soccer on the streets and all the different things.
Harris Medunian is still screaming at Storen Stoica right now.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, head over to bit.ly/give to ATL CL 2018. We'll tweet out the links. You'll find them pinned, I believe, on most of our YouTube account pages.
It's also in the description below.
And it's in the description below. Head there, donate, hashtag podcast in the comment or the description of the donation. And we have folks here going to the page and looking at that, and we'll get your names and shout you out. So, okay. Kevin would like to interrupt Soccer in the Streets, everyone, and the kids,
At
raising
Home
money for the
Before
kids to
Dark.
announce that Home Before Dark has reached 1,000 Twitter followers.
Oh, I see how it is.
I mean, just it's odd how that just happened while we're on the air, isn't it?
It
Interesting.
only took us 2.5 years.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, well, we should shout out though the guys that are participating in our chat.
Oh yes, the chat
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Get in the chat.
Get in here. You
We'll
know,
take questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Do
So
you guys have a name for your chat? Because you guys do a lot of recorded content.
Yeah.
Home Before Dark calls it the Trap.
yeah,
That's right.
The trap. So we'll call it the Trap 2, but
Trap
stylized with the eyes. You know.
Oh, that's a good
Roman
idea.
numerals. It's a trip.
yeah.
The Trip Trap.
But no. So LA Chicano, what's up? Ryan B, what's up as well? Nick Wood, yo.
Nick.
Any good questions in that?
Was it
Sounds
Nick
like-
that was doing? Was it Nick Wood doing the
Perfect.
the
Oh.
dance move with you in the tailgate yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay,
Dirty dancing.
the dirty dancing
nice.
move. So Nick is in chat right now,
Majestic.
and
He attempted it twice.
he attempted it
How'd it
twice.
go?
Failed both times.
Okay.
Failed both times. Well, it looked great in the still photo.
Yeah.
That's
It
why
did.
still
Right.
photos are great. So we put it up on our Instagram page. You can check that out and watch them. Looking like they're succeeding, but
That's true.
apparently they didn't. So,
So we have some donations. Annabelle Rodon, man, thank you guys. Thank you so much. $31. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
Annabelle.
Good
He
job,
runs
man.
Yeah, man.
he runs an Atlanta pizza
Shout out,
blog.
Annabelle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That sounds delicious.
yeah. You know me.
I will
and
be
pizza,
hitting
bro.
him up for some tips there.
Seriously.
And Darren Eels, hello,
Yeah.
donating over $200. Hello, Mr. President. Yeah, appreciate that.
Thanks, Darren.
But
I think
really
we had
helping the
one
cause.
right before the podcast, and they forgot to do it. And I think it was Ronald
Yeah.
Pena. Yeah,
Oh,
Ronald
excellent.
Pena. He just forgot to do the hashtag podcast thing. So thank you for your donations,
Yeah.
guys. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah, who do we have up on the schedule next?
Yeah, I'm going to tag out. Let's get Siempre in here.
Yeah.
So I just want to
Which one of
give
you guys?
a shout out to the goalkeeper of the Man United team who played a great game.
That's Ben McKenzie,
The quality of
captain of,
soccer
the
has
Manchester
been
United
fantastic.
Well done.
Siempre is going to be on a little later for a Spanish-only segment, which is
Okay.
going to be awesome.
Let's get
Fantastic.
somebody from Siempre, but I'm going to leave a question on the table and I'm going to walk away.
Okay.
Cool.
What is the number one thing coming out of last night's match with Philadelphia that concerns you about Atlanta United going forward? Y'all have fun.
Okay. Thanks for
Drop that nugget, man.
I'm concerned about Majunidan's mental health. I hope he calms down.
That's probably true. That has nothing to do with Atlanta United, but yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Why don't you
At
introduce
least for
yourself,
last
sir?
night, All right.
Tasty Palace.
Tasty
Yeah.
Palace. Is
Yeah.
that your karaoke name?
People, we fit in the screen over there right now. Two big guys in there. No.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sucking it
we're
in right
good,
now.
we're good.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
can scoot over to it.
I can
we're good.
shave down like 6 inches. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a
So,
skill.
so I should speak Spanish or?
Well, what we're gonna do is we're doing an English segment, and then you guys are you're gonna take over a little later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I can speak. No puedo empezar
You
a
can
hablar
speak
español.
Spanish. Yeah, you can
No.
call me names, whatever. I'll just nod,
Right,
smile.
right.
Yes. See.
Sí. All right. All right.
Mucho gusto. All right.
So yeah, we'll get back on track to Jason Longshore's bomb that he left us.
Hold the pin and run
yeah.
away.
So what bothers us most about Atlanta United going forward after last night? I know people are going to be talking about the finishing. Personally, I'm not as worried because I know that's going to come good. But what about you guys? What are you guys thinking? I like you,
AJ. Yeah. So I actually went on a rant last night. Whoever was on Dirty South Soccer Twitter account, they tweeted out and said, I'm not worried, guys, because like baseball, you just need to be patient. And I was like, are you seriously doing this in the middle of the match right now? Like, can we as fans just be pissed off that the ball's not going in the back of the net and we're not playing very well against a Philadelphia who's on a hot streak right now? They're down 9 guys. We still let in a goal. How about that we didn't get a clean sheet in this game? That would be my big concern. Like, what's going on with that?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we letting goals at home against 9 dudes?
Yeah, I think it's a constantly changing defense. It's the amount of rest that we have between our games. We had 2 days of rest.
Yeah,
between
tired
Wednesday,
legs. The
Saturday.
roof's open. It's 100,000 degrees.
Absolutely. Julian Gressel definitely mentioned that last night.
Julian's not a fan of the roof open.
I don't think most of us are. If you had to be in the stands, I mean, you're just sweating bullets. I found the enjoyment a little bit worse.
So what's got you concerned out of last night? We're starting with the negative.
Yeah. The negative. I was really pissed off with Almiron though.
Yeah.
I was telling him over there that
that's right.
He get like 7 chances, and he decided to shoot like 6.
Yeah.
Instead of passing.
There were a couple times it seemed like he could pass to Joseph. Yeah.
In the second half.
Yeah.
Probably.
He could have. You know what I mean? Like he could have passed it to Joseph.
He got an impossible angle at least in 5 times.
Yeah.
And he decided to shoot, and I was like, really pass the ball, because we shouldn't make like 6 goals. They have 9 people since
we had some kind of record 25. Or tied 5th record, like 31 or 38 chances, like shots or something.
31 shots.
Yeah, but they were playing with 9. They were playing with 9.
Right. We should have more shots.
Exactly. Since minute like 25.
Yeah.
So, and Almiron decided to shoot, and I was like, Nabi was on point over there. Joseph, also Gressel, it was alone like half of the game, and nobody passed the ball to him.
I think. Well, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, Tata Martino said after the game that they weren't spreading the ball around as well as they could have. He definitely slagged off the entire team, saying, "Yeah, this was the worst performance."
Which is a good change, because I was like, I thought he's gonna come out again and be like, "The 3-5-2 is working," and that's not what happened at all.
Right, and we were way too relaxed. I felt like it was a false insecurity. It's like, oh, they got 9 guys, and we weren't on an urgency.
Barco went to sleep.
Step on their guys.
Barco just disappeared.
Right.
Yeah, in the second half,
I thought he left the building.
He sank.
But yeah, no, it's like I think they were pressing a little bit in terms of like, oh yeah, we need to be 5 up, and we need to just get a bunch of shots off, and instead of actually playing it around the box, getting a good chance, it was shots from distance. It was shots from impossible angles. It just, every bit about it was off last night.
Yeah, but his position is most likely like pass the ball instead of shooting.
Yeah,
the attacker is like Joseph, more Gressel, more this other guy that I forgot the name right now. Awesome. Shoot,
Ambrose.
Yeah, like pass the ball, create situation. I see some stacks over there that Barco had created more situation than Almiron from the past season.
Yeah, he's a chance creator for sure. Yeah.
But in 3 games, like, why?
It's starting to get frustrating. I talked about it with Kelly in the last game where he had a chance where it landed on his left foot. He's in the box. He's right in front of the goal. And he decides to give 2 more touches instead of just using his left to put it in the bottom of the net. And it's just the hesitation, the extra steps, the thinking,
right leg,
the overthinking. Right.
Almiron does
well, I mean, that's the thing. And I would even give him some. I would even give him some leeway if it landed on his right, but it landed right on his left. Hit the ball. You know what I mean?
He had a lot. He was guilty of that on Wednesday as well. He would just take that 1 extra step and take himself out of that goal scoring opportunity. Yeah. But you can tell, man, he wants to score a goal so bad.
Yeah.
Because he's just seemed to go for it all the time. The amount of times he was just cutting it, like Wednesday and yesterday, he was just flying down the left, but he's taken far too long. He's closed that angle down, so it's far too acute, and then he's just whacking it straight at the keeper.
And also, he haven't scored like in 4 games, 5 games. Almiron haven't scored on those.
Was it the
games,
last
so-
time?
Yeah, and a
was
lot of our
Montreal?
goals have been penalties.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
from open play, if we put some in the back of the net, I feel like the confidence absolutely will skyrocket and start to build from there.
He's looking. He's seeing Joseph score, Barco scored. Yeah.
Also,
right.
actually, congrats to Joseph to tidying the record for the hat tricks.
For sure, yeah. And he's absolutely going to beat it. You know, he's going to be the GOAT.
There's no question.
So.
Yeah, he wasn't outside yesterday like that much.
Although after that one, Miguel may want to take a penalty. Like he's like, I gave you 3.
that is true.
You got it.
Yeah.
Can I get one? I really
Yeah.
need a goal, brother.
Yeah,
I need a real.
but-
Yeah, my fantasy team would have preferred Almiron taking over this.
Yeah, I captain Almiron. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I'd be already through the roof here.
Well,
if
you
I
got an
captained
assist.
Joseph.
Does
I
that
know.
count for something? in there?
Still, Joseph had like
Yeah.
38 points or something without even
right,
being
yeah.
a captain. Yeah.
Right. But
crazy.
I think with the Miguel Almiron thing. I mean, you know, he created the chance for Joseph to
Yeah.
score from open play. I believe he also, he gave the through ball to Joseph so that he won the penalty. I mean, he's, you know, that doesn't
Overall,
count as
his
the chances
game
are there.
is
But
still
they-
well rounded. He's playing
Yeah.
great defense. He's doing all those things.
Right.
It's just when he gets in front of the net.
Yeah,
it feels
and
like.
I think it's this is why he's with us and he's not in Europe yet. Unfortunately, it's because of that. Like he has a lot to build on. You know, his clinic, how clinical he is. Like it's the reason why he's not in Europe.
By the way, we kissed the woodwork twice again.
Yeah.
This past
Yeah.
I see some kind of record.
Wrestle, yeah.
I
and,
just want to comment on that going to Europe thing. I feel they need to clarify that he's not going to one of the premier teams in Europe right now, because I feel like he could go to any of the lower league.
yeah, he
teams
was
in
linked
Europe.
with Newcastle. I think
Easy.
he could probably be on Newcastle United. Yeah,
God help him.
That would be. I don't know if I want to see him there, but and shout out to Brian Deffenbach for saying the crossbar thing.
Brian
The same thing.
Deffenbach, yeah.
It's a
Waffle House FC.
Waffle
Check
House
him out.
FC, yeah, good point there. Let's get into the chat a little bit. Let's see what everybody's saying.
Well, what
Alan-
are you watching over there?
Alan M is saying
to see how I look, you know, my hair and all that. You know, I need to look good though. You know.
Yeah, so Alan M is saying Gressel was one of the few putting in quality shots on target.
Wrestle had a pretty good game. Pretty
Yeah,
good.
he wasn't too bad. He had that one. Some
smash
people would
crossbar.
call it a perfect hit that went straight off the crossbar,
Yeah.
but it was a good effort.
Yeah.
It was.
Perfect woodwork hit.
So it could,
Tata Fett is saying I was hoping for Nagby to get one in. He deserves it. Absolutely deserves a
certainly
goal.
does.
Yeah,
Or
man, he was trying.
an assist.
he's
Like,
like
trying
to
disallowed now.
Yeah.
He made one yesterday and he take it away again.
Larry got a
He
shot
take it
off
away
again too, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, and Larry, speaking of bicycle kicks, that one he tried a couple games ago. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Also,
If that came off.
Oh, man.
also Escobar and Ambrose, they get a really good game yesterday.
He did.
Escobar
Yeah.
had a great game yesterday.
Yeah.
Apart from the goal, he shut down Picoult
He was put
pretty
under-
much all
Right.
time. He
Yeah.
was matching him for speed and
Right.
shutting him
And
out.
that's
I
the
was
key.
very
That's
impressed
one of the
with
fastest players in
Frank the
MLS.
Tank.
Yeah.
Right. And somebody pointed out, I'm trying to find, Tata Fett pointed out that our goal was from a set piece. And so, it's kind of our old nemesis is those set pieces.
We were asleep, bro.
I mean, yeah, exactly. When you allow the second ball to just drop on an unmarked player, we almost got hit with the ball.
They didn't agree with that one.
It's right above you.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's
right,
why we built
anyway.
a tent city, guys.
Yeah.
Just pull it.
We're somewhat protected.
We literally
unless
have
a
barriers
very
set up.
Well,
Like
nice
tables and
ball
barriers.
is going to go through this tent, but
Where's
Carlos
your
will just
goalkeeper
go straight
killing
to
it
that
today?
table. Carlos
Yeah.
Bacanagra hits that.
and so let's see what else is everybody saying. Thin Plot is saying I miss Tito. 4-2-3-1 in the second half was so important. Yeah, we definitely switched to a 4-2-3-1 or 4-2-3.
What a power move.
Tito is
Yeah.
injured, right?
Yeah.
So-
So
Yeah, Tito's injured with his hyperextended knee. He was maybe day to day for this match or this past match on
And
Saturday.
Garza
but-
as well, right?
Yeah,
he's 4 to 6 months, man.
Do you guys
yeah.
feel
He get
like
the-
we're
he
like
get the surgery.
screaming
Yeah.
out to get Tito back in the lineup though?
I personally think we've missed that dynamic because him running behind defenses and just his pure speed is scary for opposing defenses.
I feel like Barco could have
Yeah.
been taken out earlier if Tito was there,
Yeah.
and then it could have swapped in because Barco was just doing nothing.
yeah,
Right.
but I
Doing
think it's
nothing that game.
I know.
Yeah.
It's true, but it's also
Yeah, he
if,
didn't have any dribbles at all.
But if it's all four of them up top, Barco, Miggy, Vijalba, Joseph, I feel like that dynamic is what we need.
By the way, can we thank Vasquez, by the way, for that, for not, for deciding to just stop, try and turn. Mickey's standing right
open.
there.
Yeah.
The look on
it's
his
true.
face was hilarious.
yeah,
I'm going to
it's-
go back and gift that.
It's that
because
LeBron.
is a key-
Yeah, I was about to say
It's that
that.
LeBron moment,
But
man.
I'd like to give a shout out, Vasquez.
Jay Hart, I'm right here.
I'd like to give him a shout out because thanks to Vasquez, my score prediction of 3-1 held tight
Yeah.
in the Home Before Dark score
Me
prediction
too.
league.
I predict
I
I
had
predict
3-1.
that one.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I said that before the game started. I say we're gonna get a 3-1, and at the end, yeah,
Boom. See these guys right here?
There,
See this?
yeah. No, it's the trusty home score. You know, we
It
like
is.
last year it was like 3-1 every single home game.
This is the first time I predicted 3-1.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it would usually be like 3-0, and then they would get some crummy goal
We-
at the end.
Exactly.
Or it'd be right after we scored, which, you know,
we
It
should
did,
be
it
like
like the
6-0.
San Jose
It
game.
should have been another
Right.
touchdown situation.
Exactly.
Right.
Like
Yeah. Like
Uh,
last year, if I feel like last year this happened, we would have scored 7 or 8 goals because
Absolutely.
we'd be like rocking the 4-2-3-1,
That's
just creaming shit. I mean, we had look at the run of games that we had when we still creamed New England,
oh, yeah.
and how many games we were playing.
Yeah.
That's
See,
right.
there was no excuse of we're tired or like our legs are tired or whatever.
Well, I
like,
feel like
forget that.
It's
Hey,
true. It's true.
So the last
it in the back of the
game, the last game to our memory that was not Atlanta United that went down to 9 versus 11. I believe it was Orlando had 2 guys sent off against Chicago, and they managed to pull out like a draw, which is, I mean, credit to them. But I feel like there's 2 ways it could go. Either you win the game or things are going to go terribly.
Speaking of draws, by the way, thank you Columbus for coming back and drawing Toronto,
Oh,
keeping
yes.
them way down, out of like just keep them away from the playoff area. But New England is becoming. I mean, they're worrying me. And Philadelphia actually played pretty well considering what happened. So now you're looking at
They
these
did.
2 teams, Philadelphia on a hot streak, even though they had this rough match this game because of the red cards. You have New England, right, who just totally, had New York Red Bull's number at Gillette Stadium. And they're kind of in these hot streaks. So the playoff could be anybody at this point. And now Orlando's getting pushed further back.
That's right.
Thank you, NYCFC. So they
over,
lost
over
like,
here, they're playing the losing bracket.
Yeah.
And they haven't even played.
So now we can see like Orlando out of the playoff hunt and more of like a New England or a Philadelphia.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Oh, Chicago's only a point behind Atlanta.
Right, because
now.
Alan
true.
Gordon decided to have an awakening and scored 4 goals like in 4 games. Did you see the picture where he has his thing in the shoe? Where he's naked? Oh, it's like he's like in the locker room and he's got his shoe and it's just on top of his covering his genitals.
Dude,
And the shoe is face
It's-
up, kind of
Oh
like
my god.
representing that maybe something's happening in the shoe.
I think I saw that late night last night, and I was like,
Ever since that photo, he's been scoring goals. That's all I'm saying.
not an image I would really want to.
Impressive.
Thank you so much, man.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
But
Kevin, you did way more
let's
work
go
than
back
me.
to our trusty chat here and what people are saying.
Just
Gene
yell at us when we
Morley
need to rotate.
is saying Tito would have scored more yesterday than 2 PKs. Yeah, I mean,
It's a fiery hot take.
yeah. I mean, and I think Tata Fett is saying that Tito and Martinez are our finishers for sure, and I agree with that. I mean, they led our team last year with goals, and we've missed that clinical dynamic from last year to this year. Okay, yeah. So, okay,
Why don't we bring Jillian in?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm gonna
let's do
sit
that.
out.
Okay, yeah. So we'll peace out to Jay really quick. Bring on Jillian Sakovitz from MLSsoccer.com and our Atlanta United sideline reporter. Yeah.
Welcome,
Hello.
Jillian. Welcome.
How are you?
Oh, look at this.
Yeah. Say hello to the Trap 2 people down here.
It's quite the setup.
Yeah, quite the setup.
You guys have been working really hard on this. I really appreciate
Oh,
all
no.
the work that
No,
you put
it's
in.
no. It's definitely Kevin and Jay and a little bit part of me. Yeah, definitely shout out to Soccer in the Streets for all that they do and all the fundraising for the underprivileged kids. But Jillian Sakovitz, hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having me, guys. Good
Yeah.
to finally meet you. I hear you all the time, but
Absolutely.
I don't necessarily see you.
We're in your mentions, definitely. We noticed the little carpool karaoke that you guys did, which
Oh,
was super
no,
fun.
yeah.
Dan Gargan is a madman, but an
I
awesome
said to
madman.
Dan, I was like, well, from my view in the back seat, I was thinking to myself, Dan's a good dancer. And then when the team put the video together, I was like, Dan, you could be in a music video.
He could. He was ghost riding the
He's so
whip,
cool.
pretty much.
Dan and Kevin and I are just tied for losers. We did not know we were gonna have to sing.
Yeah. How many songs did you guys go throughout that?
Way more than they wanted to put in that video. That's for sure. They took the best of the best, which is the sad part.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Let us know how your experience has been with Atlanta United and all the fans that have you dropped by tailgate yet?
Yes, twice.
Yeah.
My experience has been perfect. So we were there a couple weeks ago, and then I think it was probably around 4 o'clock yesterday. Kevin Egan and I did a swing through really quick.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I said to Kevin, not going to say I told you so, but I said, why don't you wear a t-shirt? And then after we swing through, you could put your suit on. I'll be fine.
You mean he was wearing something? It wasn't like
drenched.
Kevin just put a shirt on.
Mid-
We're in public.
But you know what?
Yesterday,
He looked fantastic. And him and I had a great time. We went through.
Yeah.
I mean, what sums it up to me is just like, welcome to Atlanta. Everyone is so nice, and everyone wants to chat. It's just fun, just fun to talk to people. And that's what I'm loving about it. Is it just feels like, it's Dan, Kevin, and I, but it feels really like every person you run into, I would be having the same conversation I'd have with Kevin or Dan.
Yeah.
Except,
Right.
No, awesome. And so I think you live in New York, right?
I split my time between the two.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Get those air miles in.
yeah, right. Like, what have you seen from Atlanta? Like the differences that you appreciated from New York and Atlanta. Obviously, we're a lot more humid. It's it's a lot more miserable in that respect. But what are your favorite spots to go to?
Orlando, though.
So I'm in Atlanta, obviously, like around the games or things we have going on, and that's great. I like to spend as much time here as I can because I've been loving it. But credit to Atlanta United.
Yeah.
They only got 7 home games on Fox Sports South.
Yeah.
7, which means that ESPN and FS1 wanted 11 home games, which is huge and great. But for us, that gives us huge buys at home, which stinks. Our next home game is August 19th.
It also puts a hole in my ESPN Plus account.
Right.
So it's great for the club. It's good for the club. But Kevin, Dan, and I were like, we literally were saying to our crew, like, have a nice summer, because we don't see them again until August. So that part.
Oh wow!
But I love the South. I love Atlanta. What I really like about it is, my coworkers, people I meet, everyone they're still getting work done. We're having a great time. We're doing what we have to do. But there's a certain friendly buzz that you get while going to work that maybe you don't necessarily get when you're trying to grind it out and get to an office in New York. It's fantastic. It's been really, really wonderful, really.
Right.
Excellent. So, Jillian.
Yes.
What was your take on the game last night?
So, twofold, right? When you kind of go over the headlines in your head, it's like Joseph Martinez makes history. 5 hat tricks in 34 games. No one's even come close. I mean, the guy's on pace for what? He's so young. He's on pace for what? 20 hat tricks? I don't know.
It could be, pretty much at this point. Yeah.
It's the headlines, right? First win at home in 3 games.
Right.
They didn't. You cannot go 3. The fact that they'd never lost back-to-back games at home. So the headlines were great. But at the game's core, I saw it in Michael Parkhurst's face after the game. He was disappointed.
Right.
Atlanta wants to compete. You want 3 points first, but second, these guys want to compete. So the fact that, 15, 20 minutes into the game, that's decimated, it's disappointing. They want to measure themselves and they want to play well before they go into the gauntlet that is going to be new NYCFC, right?
Right.
So disappointing. I think that the game, it was a great open game at the top. And then the hat trick was great. I think, too, that Tata wanted them to unload a little bit more given the advantage that they had. So I think that Tata, I could tell in his post-game interview, he's a great guy. And I could tell that he was disappointed. So 3 points at home, yes.
That's true.
But I think he wanted a 7-1 game.
Who wouldn't?
I think we all wanted that.
Though.
I want that every game, though.
Right.
Who wouldn't be disappointed? They are playing with 9. And we just get 3 goals.
Right.
And like 28 attempts to goal.
Yeah, and one goal from the run of play,
a
right?
little reminiscent in kind of a scary way for a moment there of the New England game where you're like, chances, that Julian Gressel one off the crossbar.
Exactly.
Barco, chances. But like Darlington Nagby told me, he said, I'd be worried if we weren't creating chances. We're creating chances, and those are going to go in. I mean, look at who's on.
And
our
by the way,
attack.
those are 2 goals that were penalty, so they didn't count.
That's right. That's right. Hashtag sarcasm.
Let's talk about goal number 2, though.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
That was
for sure.
an amazing goal. Bro.
Yeah, Ambrose with the through ball to Miggy, and then Miggy with a beautiful cross that Joseph puts away with his right foot, twisting around. I mean, yeah, just a beautiful.
The connection was going between them, which
Right.
maybe we had seen a couple games where it wasn't, and as much as we're used to, and that's the problem. We're spoiled, right?
Right.
Miggy and Joseph connecting, creating a bunch of chances, everyone scoring. We're spoiled, so. The standards are high, and that's a good thing. That's what you want. You want to be disappointed when you win 3-1 at home.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's
I was
true.
Good problem to have.
Happily surprised with Ambrose's performance yesterday. Like,
Absolutely.
I even thought like his visual awareness of where to play the ball into space so others could run
He's
onto
hungry.
it. Yeah, exactly.
You can tell. That was his first. Credit to him, like the LAFC game, and then last game in New England. He plays the full 90. So he was in the rotation, right? He's in the starting 11. Last game was the first time they took him off the bench, which might not sound as cool, but that means that they're thinking, at the half, we need to score. We're going to switch up our formation. Who can come in here for us? And that's Mikey Ambrose. Tata said Mikey prepares all week as if he's playing this weekend. And there's been plenty of weekends he hasn't played, but I think Tata saw that in him, and he was ready to put Mikey's energy in the game.
Yeah, no, it definitely brought a different dynamic because McCann, he's slightly more defensive in that sense. In the box, he's able to handle the headers a little bit better. But Ambrose, he was providing a lot more up top, and it definitely worked. We got the goal that we needed in the run of play. And I feel like it's a confidence thing, like with this team. If they see the goal or see the ball go in the back of the net in the run of play, the more that happens, the better that our season's gonna go. But
and I think the next step for them is really going to be Parkhurst. In a team with a team like this, where so many guys came from other leagues, and then you have some of the veteran MLS guys. It's Parkhurst has done a really good job in, I think, letting them know and implementing the fact that, listen, I hate this analogy because everyone says it, but it's not a sprint to the finish line. You don't want to put everything you've got out. And it's not like other leagues where top of the table is winning. You have a whole nother season to play at the end of October. So Parkhurst has been good he wants them to play well, but you can't agonize over in other leagues. Some of the South American players, they take it so hard after a loss, which you want. Yeah. You want, but you also want to know that, like, this is a very, very long season. And sometimes the teams that play in go on to win MLS Cup. You don't want that. We want home. We want home field advantage in the playoffs. But you've got to go with the ebbs and flows of this league. It's just different. A win is worth so much more than a loss.
I feel like we've played a lot of teams recently who have seemed to be at the peak of their season right now. Like in potentially Red Bulls or Orlando City. And I don't think that I don't believe that we've reached that peak yet. I'm still waiting to see the awesome power of a fully operational mothership. With having Tito on the field and Barco and Martinez and Almiron and Nagby, and that hasn't been a consistent theme yet. So
we've played every team that is streaking, right? Philadelphia came in here 4 unbeaten, and now that's not the Philly team that we saw.
I think so. The only team that we haven't played that is a really hard team is Toronto, but we play at the end of September, I believe so.
Yeah, and then that's also the decision day match is Toronto, I believe, at the very end of October. So that should be.
And also, it's a really hard month for us on September. We got 7 games in September, if I'm not mistaken. So.
And bringing up September is such a good point because you want to still have all your energy in September.
So John Nelson is
John
ready
Nelson's
to
gonna
tear
come
my
in.
head off to get me
We're
out of the
gonna
seat. So I'm going
hop
to tag
out.
out.
He can do you want him to take my spot?
Go. NASCAR pit stop.
Hello.
That was more like Formula One pit stop than NASCAR. That was actually pretty good.
This is a marathon.
Actually, I want to say hi to my brother Fernando from Puerto Rico. He's watching us right now.
Puerto Rico. I was just there.
Really?
I love it.
And it's not a Kelly Francis, it's the Kelly Francis.
It's the Kelly Francis, the one and only, guys. The one
All right,
and
thank
only
you, Chris.
Kelly
Chris
Francis
M.
there ever
He just
is.
donate for us and Siempre United.
And
So
Kelly
thank
Francis
you, Chris.
is adopting a
Thank
puppy
you for
today.
for the donation, though.
Oh, but I just
Chris.
realized. Boy, girl, boy, girl.
Yeah. You see how
Go figure.
Go figure. That's we gotta. It's the formation. We gotta make sure our formation's correct.
It's a good formation.
It's the 1-1-1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. on a 4v4.
Yeah.
We should tell Tata about this.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
I make
Yeah.
bad jokes very often.
Really?
Be prepared. Yeah.
Really?
Like it's my thing. It's like a bad joke shtick. That's
Oh.
what I have.
Oh, okay.
I wield it, and
that,
then no
that
one
will
laughs.
be a new segment on Leash. No.
Oh no, yeah, bad jokes by Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah,
You-
I'm
you
writing
will
all the
lose
jokes right
followers,
now.
but-
I'm gonna
I
deliver
might
them later.
beat you, so don't worry.
You will lose followers. You know that, right?
I'm losing on followers. What?
If you do that segment, it's gonna be like dropping the followers.
Oh yeah, no. Jay already tells me constantly how I'm the worst thing that ever's happened to our podcast.
He doesn't look like a guy.
You just got called out, sir.
He didn't say it in words, but we can retone.
It's not how you say it; it's how you say it.
Exactly. Exactly. So what were we talking about before I made bad jokes? Because I
What
was
were we
trying.
talking about?
About Atlanta.
Oh, we're
Oh.
talking about Atlanta.
We were
Really?
talking about
Yeah.
Atlanta. We were talking about the season
This
and
season. Yeah, that September is
the
gonna be a hard
game.
month for
Yeah.
us. We haven't played with a top team yet. That is Toronto, but
Well, I mean, NYCFC is also a very tough team.
yeah, and I think that's why
Did you just make a face?
it's like
Really?
Really?
On NYCFC, you made that face?
I think NYCFC and Atlanta could be our Eastern Conference championships.
I mean, really,
And we get a
that's the
preview of
way
that
I'm looking
this
at it,
upcoming
too.
weekend on Fox Sports South and Fox Sports Southeast.
I mean, the game didn't obviously go the way we wanted it to, but I think Sporting Kansas City is also a fantastic team. And
Yes.
I was in a suite that night and I was talking to one of the Sporting Kansas City guys there, and after the game was over, I mean, I was a little upset, but I shook his hand and I said, I look forward to seeing you at the MLS Cup, because I feel like that's honestly where this could
It's a
be
possible
going.
matchup for sure. So I got to ask you, who do you think's the team to beat in the East right now? Maybe Columbus.
in the East, you say?
Yeah.
If it's not New York City, Columbus.
I just want the rematch for Columbus. That's it.
Okay.
I want to.
Okay.
I want to pay back for
That's
that.
fair.
Because we were like, oh, save the crew. And they beat us, and I was like, really?
Yeah, Jay made armbands
Really?
and everything.
That's so sweet.
Oh god.
And then he jinxed us, is what he's saying.
No.
That's nervy.
Screw the crew though. Screw the crew right now. We don't want it. No, I want the payback.
All right.
I want the payback.
We should still, support.
You know,
as a
that was my first tailgate though. That was my first tailgate. I was so excited, and when we went to the game, we lost. And I was
Okay,
like,
so then here's the
really?
question to the floor. Does Toronto FC make the playoffs?
Absolutely.
They should. They should.
They'll
They
be a
haven't
5
wake
or
up yet.
6.
Toronto's gonna
They
be
haven't
fine.
wake up
They're
yet, but
too good. They're too good, and there's a lot of teams underneath them,
Toronto
above
makes the
them.
playoffs,
Yeah.
100%.
And the thing is that you don't want to be the team to play Toronto FC in the first round of that knockout game.
You really don't. You really
I
don't.
think what you really got to always remember is you look at a team like Seattle 2 years ago.
They're in trouble.
Worst team. Oh, this year, forget it. They're not making the playoffs. Worst team in the league on July 29th.
Yep.
Right.
They win MLS Cup. So you can't look at a team like Toronto now and write them off or overlook them. They're not only they're going to find their stride and they're going to make the playoffs. And I think when they do, should they not have to battle back from any major injuries or changes, then they might be in form.
Yeah.
And that's never what you want.
No, you don't. And
with a Greg Vanny.
so
coach
it's
team.
more. So right now, for fans of Atlanta United, you want to be the one of the two, so you don't face them in a knockout game as a 5 or a 6 seed, the
No.
first game end of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
They shouldn't
Yeah, and
have
I think
any
that's perfectly possible for us to do, and I think that's where we're going to end up being. I don't think we have to, or that we will, in any way, meet them on a one game.
No, we should not have a playing
no.
game. You're absolutely right.
No. Nor
We're
should
not on
we.
pace
Nor
for a
should we be
playing
that way
game,
for Columbus
thankfully.
at all.
Yes.
At all.
And home field advantage. It's so important.
Yeah.
And, anything can happen, but as of now, we're on pace for that. And that would be great to have that back.
I mean, yeah. Everybody and every Atlanta United fan, but every fan that I've ever met wants a rematch of Columbus. So I'm 100% all for getting a rematch with Columbus. I just would. Wait, what?
That's the chat.
Hi. I'm
Yeah.
talking to the chat now.
Oh, we're getting comments?
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting comments.
Hi, Jillian. Enjoyed the interview with Coach Pierce of the Hawks. I always love when
Good
the
guy.
different teams
Yes.
support each other.
Someone wrote something like, "I love my dad." So maybe like people are calling Lloyd Pierce like a
dad
fatherly
figure,
figure.
yeah.
And then someone else wrote like, "Yeah, I love my dad Lloyd so much." And they I don't think they were his kids. So I was like, oh, you know what? He does give off a very like calming fatherly
Yes.
presence. He's a defensive minded coach, so I think that comes with being a little more of a calm demeanor. Great guy.
And you're going
Go
to need
Hawks.
that with the Hawks being the way that they are right now. You know that they've got the number 3. They're probably going to get the big guy in the draft and then work it from there. What else is on the chat?
Yes.
I've actually got a really kind of funny question. Have we learned our lesson that an open MBS in the summer looks cooler than it plays/feels?
I'll leave that open to those of you who were there as fans.
Okay, so
I was sweating.
I was going to say, what was it like for you on the pitch?
Well, I wasn't running, thank God. I did wear black, which was stupid. I was okay, but I'm also, I think we are pleasantly spoiled. We're used to climate-controlled games. I come from years and years of being out in MLS elements, so I was like, this isn't so bad, because I've had to stand in the snow in Toronto and the rain in Seattle, so my tolerance is a little high. But I want to know what the fans, who cares what we feel like? That's really, how does the fans feel? They're the ones, paying
What about
for the
you?
tickets.
I
Open or
didn't went to
closed?
the game yesterday.
Huh?
I couldn't make it to the
Okay,
game yesterday.
what about you? Were you able to make it as well?
Oh, yeah, I was in the press box.
Oh, of course you were. I
Which
forget
is air
this.
conditioned, so we can't
Yes.
ask.
Yes.
So, okay, well then, no.
But right now, they
How
are
are
1
you
and 1.
feeling?
I was hot. I was in the supporter section. So, I mean, but in between getting doused with beer, which was my only form of some bit of...
Wait, you were doused
mist.
with beer?
Oh, constantly. We have beer showers in the
Accidentally?
fan section. Yeah, no, like...
I was not aware of this.
Whenever there's a possible goal that's scored,
Oh, okay.
people
Understood.
not throw beer like they throw beer on the field, but they throw beer up in the air in excitement, and it ends up showering everyone with beer. So most of the time, if you're in the supporter section, you're getting beer showers constantly. I mean, even when there's not a play happening. I mean, I got hit with a full one last night for no reason. I had to come home and take a shower.
Yeah, we all needed a shower after last night. But you know what? I think it was fun to have the roof open. I think it was good. It was good for the atmosphere. I
need to be a little bit closer to the
understand
mic.
it's a new experience. But overall, that's what it's there for. It's there for on a good night when you can open it up to have it open. And it's there to close it on a really hot day. So it's all good. I think that them finishing up the construction, because that's why it's open. Yeah. They've got 10 days that they need it open. I think it's great to have the option of both.
Everyone was worrying about
so fantastic.
Yeah, everybody was worrying about rain, which was like a huge thing.
Bring it on.
Yeah, in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And how it would drain and how it would...
But it drained fine, and it was a hot day yesterday, and there was little to no precipitation. I think in the end, it looked visually stunning. I mean, I love it when the roof is open, but I think maybe further down the line, I'm okay during the middle of the summer for it to be closed.
Yeah. October,
and that's what it's there for. They will.
Yeah.
The first priority, and I was talking to stadium ops, is fan comfort. So when it can add to the fan experience and make that great, roof's going to open up. Because it can open up in like 10, 15 minutes. And when it's not great for the fan experience, it's going to be closed. And that's such a plus for Mercedes-Benz Stadium. There's really just a few in the entire league that people have that option. BC Place in Vancouver does have a bit of a roof, but because they're used to the cold weather, they try to freeze out basically all of their competition. I made the mistake. I went up there for a playoff game. It was Vancouver and the Timbers a couple years ago. I was new to the league, and I was like, I'm on Google. Does BC Place have a roof? And I'm like, awesome, yay! Like out of the rain, out of the snow. And they open that thing right up. I'm like, I missed the memo on that they can open this up. So that's what's wonderful about Mercedes-Benz.
Everybody here is saying that they agree that NYCFC is a good team and that it was a tough game that we played against them, but they think right now that the New York Red Bulls is the team to beat.
They are streaking for sure.
Yeah. We haven't beat it yet. We always die or lose. So
we have not beat them yet. That's absolutely correct. Ethan Joyce on the chat said after their loss to New England, which shows in New York Red Bulls inconsistency, is that I think that they are the team to beat in NYC and in the East.
Right now, yes. I think when you look scope of the season, though, it's going to be New York City. I just think that they've got more depth. they've got a little bit more firepower. They have Villa. I mean, but Bradley Wright Phillips, man, giving Joseph, distancing himself from there, but BWP.
I mean,
remember,
he's in my fantasy league
from Red Bulls because of national duty. So they didn't have Tyler Adams yesterday because of national team duty. So when everyone's equal, Red Bulls will be right there. All right, so let's think about this.
Okay.
Atlanta United, NYCFC, Red Bulls, Columbus, Toronto. Who's the sixth team in the East? Who is the sixth team in the East?
It could be Philadelphia, though.
Is it Philly?
It could be. I don't think so. Orlando's going to make it.
I hope for the sake. That's a great point. I hope for the sake of the league. I love that the East is best. I was tired of West being best. I love how powerful the Eastern Conference is right now. It's great for Atlanta. No excuses. But for Philly's sake, I want to see Jim Curtin's hard work pay off. I was disappointed for him last night because I've heard from players that in this league, he is a fair coach and he's a good guy. And I think he's put a lot into that franchise with not a lot of money. You know, Philly's not working with a great roster, and Jim has done such a good job, but they always kind of tank. And I would like, for their sake, they can get the 6th spot. We'll beat them, but I'd like to see Philly make the playoffs.
What about DC United having 15 of their last 20 at home with the new barn?
I think it's going to be a little
and especially if they bring in Wayne Rooney.
Too late, too little, too late. That's my take on DC United.
I have thoughts on Wayne Rooney, and I'll
tell me.
No,
we should skip that. Is what my thoughts on it.
Same, though. They keep doing the same. They keep bringing all people to retire here, so they're not gonna get anywhere. So I don't know. That's my opinion. So.
I think it's too little, too late for DC United this season.
I agree.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say Connor Thompson on the chat right here.
Hey,
Connor Thompson. Next question.
Make sure to send us questions, by the way, on the chat.
Yeah, right here. Send us, because we can see it here. We just can't see it there on the monitor.
Yes.
Because I don't have my glasses. Connor Thompson, couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Rest players for Open Cup, ? Or go all in, ? Because we play Miami United or Orlando again if we win over the Battery. This is a team that wants hardware. I say go all in. I'll give this back to you.
I think you go all half in. Is my thought on that.
Here comes the leading scorer for the Atlanta United side.
We have really great players at all ages, and I really feel like some of the ones that we see sitting more on the bench deserve to play the full 90 just as much as the guys that are starting the first 11. So I feel like this next game we're going to see a lot of Brandon Vasquez, a lot of Andrew Carlton. We're going to see Miles Robinson, which has had a Lagos Kunga. I mean, Mickey Ambrose. I always say Mickey. It's Mikey Ambrose. I don't know. I always want to say, Mickey, you're so fine. Yeah.
He's cute like Mickey. To your point, though, Kelly, I think that's exactly what Carlos Bocanegra talks about, right? That this year they went out and they got depth. And that puts you in a great place for a competition like Open Cup. You have depth. So even though this is a bit of a tough stretch. They're coming off of a Wednesday night game, the game over the weekend, Open Cup, and then they have to get ready for New York City FC.
And that's a tough game.
But they have the depth to compete in Open Cup. And like Darren Eels is over here, I think he's joining you guys in a little bit. And he told us last night in the pregame show that they are taking Open Cup incredibly seriously. The whole goal of this franchise is to win trophies.
Absolutely.
And it starts with competitions like Open Cup, which I think it's a great format.
Oh, I everything you said, yes.
Yeah, what you said.
We're too hot to argue.
No. I mean, you're absolutely right. The depth that we have with this team is absolutely incredible.
Get out and Darren in.
Sure.
Who are we changing?
Conti and Eels are coming in.
I'll let Darren can sub in for me.
All right.
Thank you, Jillian.
Thank you.
Michael Lawrence, want to do.
And I'll work on the puppy. I'll work on the puppy.
You got your
maybe
stuff?
take 2.
Maybe I could take 2.
There we
Maybe
go.
I'll take both puppies. I'll just have 3 dogs in my life.
Oh, okay.
Conti and Darren are coming in.
Lawrence, never mind. You can do though.
Okay, now this guy who's wandering in here, he looks familiar.
Yeah. Hi. I've never actually met you in person.
Hi, nice to
Hello,
meet you.
nice to meet you.
Darren Eels. All right, you. Yeah, you don't need him.
By the way, I didn't get to actually see this, but I walked over a little bit to see Atlanta United playing, and I have heard the accolades of your wonderful spin move.
Yeah.
That you pulled.
Where did that spin-a-rooney move come from out of you?
Yeah, no, it's years of hard work on the coaching pitch. But I'll tell you what, I'm the Jake Peterson of the charity team because I've got 1 goal in 4 minutes. I'm going to quit now and have the best goals per game record in the history of Atlanta United.
I haven't seen a move like that since last year when you did a move like that.
I tell you what, I'm struggling this year. It's so hot out there. To be fair, it lets you realize how tough it is when you've got that game in Orlando in the middle of the summer. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, though, out here for a great cause today, and everybody seems to be having fun with the weather being as hot as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, really. For me, in particular, we played in it 4 years ago when Atlanta United didn't even have a name. And, you know, we tried to support it then, and to think what it is now, playing in this training centre with the turnout we've got, with a city that's, you know, totally united behind soccer, it really makes me proud. And things like this, I think we're going to be over 150,000 by the end of the day, which is just remarkable. And it says a lot to Phil and all the guys at Soccer in the Streets because the work they've done for 20 years in this city is just incredible.
Mike Hottie, we know him too, all the way over there, wearing shades.
Yeah, I don't get outdoors too much, so this makes me look a little bit better. By the way, I got nervous because
why?
I told Jared Smith I was coming to this today, and he said, "Watch out for Darren. He's really good."
Yes.
I said, "Well, just to clarify, I'm not playing. There's no expectation for me to play today, right?" And Jared said, "Well, maybe you can." I go, "No. I'm not playing, but I've heard that Darren is really good." So he broke quite a sweat out there. It looks like.
I mean, it was. Ain't no way I'm ever getting out there to play. No. I will sit there and be like your head coach, Matt Moore. Yeah. That I can do. I can sit there and do this and look like I know what I'm doing. But otherwise, no.
Matt is the master tactician, I hear.
Yeah, master tactician. Look, half in coaching is tactician and half is recruiting. And he got Rob Valentino. He managed to get Rob Valentino on a van overnight from Tampa to make sure he got here today to be the linchpin of our team. So
wow.
To be fair,
hey guys, just as a reminder, go ahead and send in your questions to the chat so we can ask
the short version we can actually see.
The barrister himself, as Alan M. has said. Everybody's saying that's my president. Just as a side note to you, Conti. Your call last night for the 2 Reds.
Let's not talk about it. I'm not proud of it.
It's now my ringtone to my phone.
Well, you know, here's the thing. I'm screaming, the Philadelphia players have lost. They're cool. They've lost. And I look back. I watched it because Jimmy's behind me. He took a video. I'm like, hey, Jared, I'm the one losing my cool. Philadelphia, too. So
I mean, I think everyone in the supporter section was losing their cool.
My mouth
was a gas. Is it a gas?
A gape.
A gape. Thank you.
You know what struck me about that is the 2 guys who got sent off were 33 and 31 years old, combined 120 caps. Like, you'd think they would know better. And honestly, I give Soren Stoica a lot of credit, not for sending off 2 of their guys, although that helps. But, you know, like,
that's a great idea.
He could have gone straight red. I mean, they were obviously making an attempt to intimidate him. I thought he stood his ground nicely. That was good refereeing last night by Soren Stoica.
Yeah. Hey, I've got a question here. Mr. Eels.
Yes.
The El Presidente. Are you in the starting 11 on Wednesday?
They want to know. Not sure. We're still going to have a chat with Tata tomorrow and see what he thinks. But I'll be disappointed if he doesn't look at the clips today. And I mean, perhaps even off the bench. You know, I think that could be a sort of powerful.
You and the 18 over at Kennesaw.
But seriously, I mean, we're looking forward to the game Wednesday. It's going to be, you know, it's a real chance for us for a trophy. I mean, the cup it gets us into the CONCACAF Champions League if we win it. We feel we've got more depth this season, so it's a real chance. It's a tricky one having the team that we know so well. But, the stadium's really good for us for this sort of round of the competition. Last year, it was great, even though we didn't kick off till about 11 o'clock at night. So
and that one's at the Kennesaw Stadium.
At Kennesaw State, yeah. So we'll play that one, and then, you know, if we win this, win the last 16. So then it's not that far to a final.
Yeah, nice. You guys keep talking. I'm going to wait for more questions to come in here. Everybody's just saying how much they love you, and that is, I guess, a question in itself. But
do you love?
But how much should you love this man and this man? A lot.
But let me shout out the love to our fans, because again, I think we've had every single opposing team coach has said in their press conference, unsolicited, how amazing the atmosphere is in Atlanta. And all right, he was saying it through gritted teeth this time because he was pissed off about the sendings off. But he's right. You know, the atmosphere we create can't do anything but influence a referee, influence and intimidate the away team. And, that's one of the big advantages we've got with our fans, and long may it continue. But I think, as we get to playoffs this year, we're going to need our fans really getting behind us.
No doubt.
I thought it was so cool. We're going to rotate here. I thought it was so
I'm staying.
cool.
I'm leaving. Sorry, I'm leaving.
It just added such a different dynamic to the atmosphere. I think it really injected more energy, and the weather gods helped us. We had really, really good weather last night, but I'm looking forward to more open roof matches as we get closer
Tagging
to the postseason. I just thought it was a great look last night all around. The stadium looked beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, even the lighting's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got the roof open. It's just a different ambience in the stadium. So, hey, guys.
This is like a tag team here. Jeez.
This is the way we work. It's
I
always
love
in
it.
and out, in and out, in and out. He's going to continue in Spanish. I hope you guys can keep up.
Okay, we'll try.
How you doing, everyone?
So one of the things that keeps coming up in the live chat right now is, now that we're getting closer to the summer transfer window, what are some of the thoughts moving forward with that? What are some of our scouting attempts, and what are your thoughts moving forward with that transfer window coming up?
Yeah, look, I mean, we try to, on every transfer window, try and improve the squad if we can. So, we've got this window coming. We have a month where we can do some business. It's a little bit easier because now the other leagues have had the end of their season. Obviously, World Cup's going on, so there'll be a bit of speculation around players who do well in the World Cup. But we'll be in the background trying to do our work, do our scouting, and see
nonetheless,
what we can do.
I think we can all expect cryptic tweets from you either way, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you draft those up and let them sit for a little while and just kind of build on it, or is it just off the top of the dome?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Sometimes it comes to me, sometimes it's carefully crafted.
He writes them down, puts them in the fishbowl.
Oh, that's great.
But actually, I mean, I'm letting you onto a secret here, but our recruitment's really done about who I can think of a cryptic tweet about. So to be fair, we've ruled a few good players out just because I couldn't think of anything.
My favorite has been that no tweet can go without being a cryptic tweet at this point, that everything somebody has to read into a little bit more, even if it's just, it's 12 o'clock. Well, what could that possibly mean? And then people are photoshopping your watch into different number configurations and stuff like that.
No, that's my favorite bit. It's like the author, and everyone reads into the sort of allergies that he's presented, and he's like, no, I didn't mean that. I just wrote what I thought.
Well, we can definitely agree on something. You might be the only MLS president that actually tweets the way you do. Everybody else tries to be politically correct and, just guide by some standards, but you go all out. You don't care. You go like, yeah, I feel like saying this, so I'm going to say it.
Well, look, the thing about it is, look, soccer's fun. At the end of the day, we're in the business of entertainment. And as we built the club with all our amazing fans, it was about having fun. And I think, we're never going to apologize. I remember when I did the touchdown sort of symbol after we beat New England 7-0, and people were like, oh, really? And hey, we won 7-0. That'll never happen again. So you got to go with it, and it's not disrespect. It's just excitement with the way our team played.
Right. I think you hit a crucial point, a fundamental point. It's just about fun. Sports are about bringing people together, not dividing them. I think that sports bring the best of us and also show some of our darkest moments. But over here in the States, I think soccer is about having something in common with people that come from way different backgrounds than you do. And it has to be about fun. It can't be about anything else. Politics not into soccer here, or, idealisms and stuff. It's just about the sport, enjoying it, and having a great club like Atlanta United. I'm all for it. So, just to be clear, full disclosure, I used to be a Red Bull fan.
No.
I used to work with them. Hey, come on.
Who subbed this guy on?
I used to work in their academy, so cut me some slack. Then I kind of lost track of MLS. I lost interest when I moved on to other things. I actually worked with other clubs, and when I moved to Atlanta, they just got the bid for the team. So I said, like, well, I might as well root for Atlanta now. But not in my wildest dreams did I think that we will have something like this.
Well, and Darren, I mean, has this even exceeded your expectations a little bit? That it's gotten that we thought it would be big, but this big, where you're easily drawing 45,000, can draw 72,000 when the circumstances call. Yesterday, I was running errands before the match at North Lake Mall, seeing people of every different cultural background, men, women, children, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, all wearing 5 stripes. It's incredible for me to see that and such a short span of time, but I'm curious, as someone who literally built this, if this has even exceeded your expectations.
Oh, it absolutely has, Mike. And I think, give Arthur credit when he was trying to bring a team to Atlanta, and there was lots of people that were skeptical. Even, the commissioner would admit it. Even the league was a bit concerned that soccer wouldn't work in the South. And when I came on board, we thought that the configuration was going to be the lower bowl. So 29,000, we felt was an ambitious target to set for us in terms of an average crowd. And look at it now. I mean, we're going to average probably 53,000 this year, which will put us 15th in the world. So we're in the top 15 in the world, which is just remarkable when you think about it. But that diversity speaks to what we've just been talking about. That diversity of the fans is what makes me the proudest. When you look at any shot of the crowd, you can go to any stand and you'll see that diversity. And I think it's a microcosm of what Atlanta is. This young, dynamic, multicultural city that's on the rise. And I think that Atlanta United is symbolic of what Atlanta is as a city. And I think, the exciting thing is we don't know what our ceiling is. We're there at the moment with that 53. What can we go to next year? If we can keep getting better on the pitch and build this, I think we could be onto something that is going to be wholly unexpected.
Well, I think, to your point, a big part of that is what guys like you are doing for the community. I mean, seeing you guys out at the Gulch, coming and talking to us, I mean, that there's this transparency from the top down and this collaboration that's happening across the club at every level that it's contagious. I mean,
it's easy to fall in love with.
Right. And that's what the live chatters say. I mean, to you guys' credit, thank you again for coming on and talking with us. It's been awesome. Where do you see us going from here? I mean, obviously, I think the sky's the limit, right? I think, what's the next step? The roof open and full capacity every game? Is that the next step?
Yeah, I mean, look, we got a few goals. Firstly, we want to win trophies. So first and foremost, we're a soccer team, and it's about what happens on the pitch. So the fans are amazing, but we're not going to win any trophies for having the best attendance. So we want to win games on the pitch, but I think Champions League's a big aim for us.
Oh, yeah.
That gives us a chance to really showcase the club in the North American region. But I think off the pitch, we want to be, that team that can be hopefully selling out the stadium every game for a whole season, which is something that in the long term we'd love to do. But the really important thing for us is that we've got to keep that special connection and keep that bond. And actually, I was doing an article for the Wall Street Journal. So this is the type of newspapers that are writing about the phenomenon that's happening in Atlanta.
With our very own.
I know, the superstar. I can't believe he's here. The biggest star on the front page of the sports section of the New York Times. But they asked me, what is it that you've got to focus on next, or what's your concern? And our most important thing is to keep that connection. So the moment we don't we take our fans for granted is the moment we're going to lose that magic that we've got. That air in the balloon will just burst. So, we'll always be working and always be looking to try and keep that relationship, keep that special relationship we've got. And it's not always going to be sweetness and light, but it's like going to the tailgates. I'll go to the tailgates when we're losing because I want to be there to show my solidarity with the fans and to hear people's concerns and, and have that dialogue. I think the moment that we just sort of live in an ivory tower is when that will disappear.
So back to
Definitely, I completely agree.
So your first point about trophies, neither one of you have had a chance to talk about it. Open Cup is on the horizon. What are your thoughts going forward? One of the topics earlier was, do you go all in to chase the trophy, or do you start to really test the depth of this team to see what we're really made of? And that way you're not expending yourself too quickly to make up for some other really tough games on the road coming up after that.
Well, I'll take it first, Mike. Then I do have to shoot because I've got to take my sister to the airport. She's flying back to England and get back hopefully to the final if we can get there in this competition. So I think for us it's a blend. So look, the Open Cup is a great chance to try that depth out. I mean, we saw it last night. Brandon came on the pitch.
Oh my gosh, my heart broke. My heart broke. Did not see that go in.
But he did a good job in his shift, and we have that depth this year that we didn't have last year. So I think it's a little bit of both, and we want to make sure that we're rotating the squad because we've got a tough game against New York City. We've got Columbus, obviously, the midweek after that. But I do think if we can progress and get further, you'll see a stronger and stronger team out there because this is our shortcut way into the CONCACAF Champions League. And hey, if we could imagine if we got the US Cup final at home at Mercedes-Benz, we could have a full stadium to try and win our first trophy would be pretty amazing.
Right. What I want to know is, so there's all the different ways to get to champions. What if Atlanta locks up all of them is what I want to know. Who subs in? I don't even know. It's like there's no tiebreakers, but they're leading in all of these potential roads to get there, which is really exciting to see.
Yeah, look, our main one at the moment is if we have the best combined over the first two seasons, we need 2 more points than New York City this season. Right. So that's our first one because that just gets us in. But obviously, we'd love to get in by winning the MLS Cup and the US Open Cup and the Supporters Shield.
Everything. We want everything.
The quadruple and the Champions League soccer in the streets today for what is that, the Pentagon or whatever?
It would be really nice to be the first MLS club to actually win Conca Champions, if I'm not mistaken, right? LA Galaxy was close, but they folded. Also, I think
TFC was close. Yeah. They were close.
My God. They beat the best two teams in Mexico, and then they just threw away that final. Well, they're not Atlanta, that's for sure.
Mike, what are your thoughts on Open Cup?
Well, I was hoping Darren would slip me the lineup now because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think especially on Wednesday, we could see a really interesting mixture of youth and veterans. Yeah, Darren is in the 18th. But like, imagine you could have some veterans like Sal Zizzo playing with Andrew Wheeler-Amanu, perhaps. You could have Andrew Carlton and maybe Jeff Lorenowitz plays a little bit. I don't know, unless Darren wants to give me a hint. I do like the fact that you have guys with Open Cup experience, like Hildebrandt. I'm sure it could be an option in goal. I think this match on Wednesday, we're going to learn a lot about some of the guys who've been with the twos. Maybe Carlton, maybe Lagos Kunga could be one of them.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see Romario Williams getting a start up top. We'll see. But we've talked about how great it is Atlanta United has all this depth with all the MLS matches they have in such a short span of time. But we're really going to see it on display here with Open Cup, because you're going to see some of the twos, some of the younger players who've been kind of on the periphery of the 18. And then I think you're going to see some starters, as Tata hinted last night. Even maybe Tito Bachalba.
I'd love to see Tito back in the lineup. It's been killing me not seeing him in there.
The tricky thing is you only have 5 international spots in Open Cup, so you have to balance that a little bit.
Okay.
Guys, I have got to shoot, but thanks again for your time.
And, thank you so much, Darren.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you. Well played. Good to see you.
Hey, Jay, we got open spots if anybody is available to hop on. Somebody, Jason or AJ, somebody. So, Mike, we talked about the lineup and who may or may not be playing. What do you think about formation? Do you start to change up the formation? There's been a lot
for
of
Open Cup or just in general?
For Open Cup.
Well, I think it depends on who you're playing. I would imagine it would be 4-2-3-1.
Which I think
Wednesday.
that's how you get Tito back in the lineup.
Exactly, if that's the goal.
Absolutely.
And I think that, fitness-wise, I'm not, 100% sure where he is, because a hyperextended knee is something that could be dealt with really quickly, or it could take a while. If you want to get Tito out there, I think you go 4-2-3-1. It's obvious the 3-5-2 is working in your MLS matches, right? I mean, if you look at your record with the 3-5-2 compared to the 4-2-3-1, take Kansas City out of there because that got weird because of Guzan's red card. But the 3-5-2 is working right now. I'm more... Hey, come on, Jay. Jay out of here. It's working. Jay and I are going to go 20 minutes on Joseph being offside, by the way. I think we've at least come to an agreement on that on Twitter last night. I think you have the possibility here on Wednesday, and I don't know anything, but you could have Romario up top, Carlton maybe as your number 10. Remember, he played at the 10 against Charleston in February. He looked great, okay? Maybe Barco. I think Barco needs a little bit of a confidence builder after last night. And you got Lagos Kunga in there. I mean, think about the dynamic, young, attacking players you could have out there. Bachalba could be in the mix somewhere. I mean, if I'm
even
Charleston,
young defensive players.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, George Bello, I've been pining to get that guy on the pitch.
He feels so close to me.
He's there, man.
To getting with the first
team. He
feels so close.
Is. And I think that might be the best opportunity to see him step into that role.
And it's interesting. I think last night, follow along with me here, I think Mikey Ambrose played himself out of Open Cup last night. I think now you got to rest him for MLS matches.
I think so, too. I think so, too.
He is your answer as long as Garza is hurt. I love the way he was combining with Almiron down the left last night. I mean, that looked perfect. So, probably this time last week, we're looking at Open Cup saying, all right, good. Mikey Ambrose can get a 90-minute run out. Right. I don't think so now. I think now you're kind of looking at resting him.
So I would like to see Kevin Kratz in the U.S. Open Cup have 90
very
minutes
likely, I think. Very
chances
likely.
To make free kicks and all that.
Yeah. I think it's very likely he gets a start. Because if you look at it realistically, I don't know how in good conscience with the match coming up at Yankee Stadium on Saturday you play Almiron.
I don't think so.
I don't think you can play Nagby in good conscience. That's where I think Kratz comes in.
Yep.
Maybe you have Kratz in that role. I think Lorenowitz is going to be in the mix, but I would certainly understand if you don't play him. Center back is interesting to me because I don't know how you could play Parkhurst. It's been such a big workload for him. Maybe LGP. plays. And again, you have to be careful with the international spots.
You have to maintain some of that internal structure. You can't just throw out a completely new lineup and then try to build chemistry and composure.
And here's the thing: don't downplay Charleston.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they're unbeaten in their last 9.
Yeah.
They have a week rest. They played last Wednesday at Indy, got a 3-3 draw, have not played since. They score a lot of goals. You've got the Wild Okonkwo factor in there as well. I'll be curious to see, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Do you really have to wink these guys? They're good. So I agree with you 100%. I think you can't get away from what you do just because you're playing a USL side. They're perfectly capable of coming in here. And
that central column for Atlanta has to be strong.
Yeah.
So in the live chat, who do you think should be in the starting lineup for Open Cup? Along with that, be sure to go to bit.ly/give to ATL CL 2018. Use hashtag podcast to get a shout out on the show. Keep those donations coming, guys. We'll be out here until 4 o'clock. Sorry. Just got to keep throwing that stuff out there.
I understand. This portion of the podcast is brought to you by blank.
Yeah.
They're doing a radio broadcast all the time.
I hate doing it, but at the same time.
It's business. That's how we keep it going.
That's it. And we want to see these kids succeed in any way possible.
Let me tell you guys, by the way, I really, and I know I speak for Jason as well, I really appreciate what the three of you do, what Jay has been doing, what John and Jared and Soccer down here, what all of you guys are doing. I think it's been so great to keep the supporters connected, and some are loyal to one podcast, some are loyal to others. I try to listen to as many as possible. I get ideas from you guys. What you're doing is so critical, and I want to tell you that Atlanta United would not be nearly as big as it is right now in Metro Atlanta, really in North Georgia, if not for the work that you guys do on a daily basis, keeping the fan base connected. So I just want to salute you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Great
Again,
job.
we take cues from you guys. I mean, like
don't take them from me.
I mean, like Jared was saying, it's all a big family, and it's just like going out to the Gulch.
We disagree sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we get in a little
most of the time
here
with
and there,
Jay, but that's another thing.
But we all want the same thing, right? We want an MLS Cup. Okay, so we can have little tiffs here and there, but we all love each other. We're all in it for the same goal, and like even I'll take something on Reddit. I mean, there's been a weeks-long flag debate about the supporter section. We're all in it
still
together.
Going on?
I think it's died down finally, but we're all in this together, right? We all want to be rally and proud and have the best supporter section possible, best atmosphere possible, and this is how we evolved to get there, right?
Absolutely.
So I grew up in an area, Philadelphia, where fans were very combative with each other and very combative towards the franchises because they're so exacting.
I'm from North Philly.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm from north of North Philly.
Philly fans are certainly still combative, especially after last night. I can promise you that.
What I like is, I think for the most part, everyone comes from a point of positivity. And there was nitpicking about the match last night. There should be.
Always will be.
I mean, when you're up 2 men and you only score once in open play, it's like, oh, man. Right. You wish it could have been more. And I think even Tata said that. But, I think we're looking at little things, hoping that it's going to get better in the long run. It's not, oh, this guy stinks, or this guy shouldn't be playing.
Right.
It's, okay, what can we do to maybe get a few more goals in the run of play? So the next time we're in this situation, we aren't wringing our hands afterwards about missed chances.
So what do you guys think could be done in the field of play to try to capitalize on some of those missed opportunities?
I'll defer to you guys first.
I would like to see Atlanta go a little bit more with the 4-2-3-1. Okay. I know Villalba doesn't fit into a 3-5-2, and somehow the 3-5-2 has been game by game is being worn out. I think that play has been a little bit inconsistent in the last 4 games. Atlanta has been inconsistent, even though we have aggregated points, but 2 home losses. We were just soundly outplayed by Sporting Kansas City and Red Bulls. Just mix it up. We have the depth. We have the personnel to do it. Just mix it up a little bit. Everybody's preparing for the 3-5-2 already.
Funny thing is, they wanted to be 4-2-3-1 against SKC, and then the keeper got red carded. And that was the unfortunate thing, because I tend to agree with you. Before Joseph's goal was blown off, Atlanta United was in total control of that match.
Oh, completely.
Doing whatever they wanted to do. And it looked like, okay, man, this is going to be great. Villalba, Barco, Almiron, Martinez. This is the way it's meant to be, and it looks good. And then we only saw it for 20 minutes. and we haven't seen it since.
Right.
And that's kind of an unfortunate aspect of what happened in that match. But I agree with you in general. Like Jason and I were talking last night, I think Atlanta United, they had a great match against Galaxy. Even though the score line was a little narrow, they had total control of that match. You look at it since, SKC, kind of unfortunate circumstances with VAR. Chicago, not totally thrilled with the way they closed that match.
Right.
You know, then you go and you play again on a Wednesday, and then you go to Orlando. You play great in the first half. Second half a little dicey.
Right.
Then you have the loss to Red Bulls, where for the final 70 minutes you're totally outplayed. And then you control the match against New England, play great, and you have a soft penalty, and it's a draw. And last night, obviously controlling the match, 11-on-9, but the frustration that you weren't getting that goal in open play. So to your point, yeah, I mean, maybe it does need a little bit of a refresh, a recharge. And you're at a point in the schedule right now where if you want to give a guy a rest and play someone else, you can do that. Right. No one's going to complain if Almiron takes or at least is in the 18 but not starting. You have to be careful to say take a day off. That's not what I mean. No one gets a day off. But no one would have an objection to that at this point, I think.
I'll add some more specificity to it. I think it's really, there's something lacking in the midfield lately in the past few weeks, in my opinion, that there's been so much inconsistency and lack of build-up through the midfield play. And the one goal that we do score against New England this week comes off of one of the few times that build-up actually starts to happen consistently.
Yes.
It seems like a lot of passes are just falling through, and I don't know if it's because of the formation of the 3-5-2 that the midfielders are being asked to do too far across the pitch rather than in
seeing the types of pressing that they've been seeing does not help.
Absolutely.
When Darlington Nagbe touches the ball against Red Bulls and suddenly 6 guys are around him.
That's true.
That makes it tough. But I agree. And the thing is, like, Darlington's been fine. I mean, he's doing all he can. The linking has been a little bit suspect at times. It's just minor imprecisions, right? Like just so minor. And a heavy touch here by Gressel or an awkward touch here by Almiron, and it all just kind of falls apart. But that happens. I mean, that's soccer. You have to give credit to your opponent, too, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I think whenever you're on top, everybody's going to give you your best. And that's been a big thing that I've been talking about, is that Atlanta is becoming the darlings of MLS in a lot of ways, and certainly has a big target on their back right now. And so everybody's coming out guns blazing and throwing everything they've got at them. So you never really know what to expect or how to play against it. But luckily, we have a team that has enough threats and enough weapons to combat that in some way, and is finding success regularly despite all of those best efforts.
I'm going to hear from you. I feel like I'm dominating your time here, right?
No worries. I do agree with everything that you guys are saying, and I think that over the past 5 games, we've been seeing a lot more press. We've been seeing a lot more intensity from the other teams, because there are a lot of teams who want to take United off the perch that we've kind of set up for ourselves earlier this season. And combine that with sort of a dip in form somewhat. I mean, Josef's been doing fine. He's had 2 or 3 goals taken away. Yeah. So, I mean, he's almost scored almost every single game that he's been playing. But when it comes to sort of that connectivity, a lot of the other guys, I think right now, the onus has been on Josef and Almiron to do a lot of the heavy pulling. And I think that when you get somebody like, Barco, who's having a dip in form, or, that 2 weeks ago or a week ago when he was just missing chances, hit the post and stuff. I think that a lot of it has to do with confidence and form right now, combined with the intensity of the other teams who are coming out to just really take it to us.
It's an interesting time because you're just finishing up the first third of the season, and the point I was trying to make last night after the match is Atlanta United is building a foundation right now, and you're trying to peak in September, October, not now. So every match is like adding new wrinkles, new elements to it, and it's not about being your best now. It's these building blocks, and I feel like every match, even though at times New England, for example, there was some frustration, but you controlled the match on the road, and you never really felt like you're going to lose that. That's a big step for this team. That's a big step for any team in this league to feel comfortable on the road. And I think Atlanta United now, since the Houston game, has looked completely comfortable playing away from home.
I agree. Do you think that Atlanta United still has room for that statement game, that game
absolutely.
that just essentially marks them as the elite team?
I think the game that did that in the first third of the season, and they're going to need one in the second third, The game that I keep going back as a comparison to is the LA Galaxy match.
Yeah.
I think that is the most complete 90 minutes Atlanta United's played all season. And I feel like it was good. It wasn't perfect. They can get better and play better down the road. This next stretch of games, June, July, August, I think is the key for that.
But Jason, we have folks in here talking about problems with the 3-5-2, and if we just went to the 4-2-3-1, everything would be better. They're saying that last year that Jeff was dropping back more in the midfield and being able to protect
He's not
the
going to
defense.
in the 3-5-2. He's not going to drop because there's nowhere for him to drop.
No, they're saying if we move to the 4-2-3-1 like last year, he'd be able to do that. They're saying that that also the ball would move a little faster. That's another thing, and then also we'll give the midfielders more options up top, so Mickey isn't carrying everything himself and saves his legs. Those are what's in chat right now.
And here's the one thing to consider: the way you win matches and win championships is by not giving up goals. The 3-5-2 is safer than the 4-2-3-1. It's not necessarily better, but look at how Atlanta United's played defensively this year. You're shutting teams down. You go to LA Galaxy, 1 shot on goal is all you allowed. Other matches, you're allowing 3-4 shots on goal. No,
I do agree.
chances.
Away, I think you have to go that way. But some people would like to see more of an attacking style. My argument is, how do you do that without Tito?
That's one thing. Yeah.
And sure, if he comes back, but also I think that the opponents we've been playing, especially if they're high pressing, like New York Red Bulls and New England, as much as you want to make fun of New England, they are a pressing team.
New England presses, Philly presses.
And Philly does. So I also think that we'll probably see it this year at some point.
You'll see all of the above. This is a process. This is a long season. It's not about everything being perfect right now. The 3-5-2, playing it a lot now. Go and listen to Tata Martino's press conferences, because he will give you some nuggets of kind of where things are going. He's talked about wanting to play the 4-2-3-1 again. He's talked about the comfort level that the team has playing different ways now. You didn't have that last year. You had one way to play, and that was it, and you lived on the edge. When in the 3-5-2 you have a bad turnover, you're safer. You can also go from 3-5-2 to 4-2-3-1 very easily in the match without substitution.
Let's just go 2-2-2-2-2-2 and just call it even.
Well, you're going to get to where Argentina in the World Cup is playing a 2-3-2-3, and everybody's like, how does that work? It's actually really similar to the 4-2-3-1 Atlanta played last year.
I know. I've looked at all the charts. It makes no sense to me. I just want to score goals, and I don't want to give up goals. That's how I break it down. Like you said,
flip it. Flip it. This is what you do. You want to not give up goals first. Right. If you keep a 0 on the scoreboard, you can't lose, right?
Right.
So you want to do that first. Then you want to score goals on top of that. That's where Atlanta has flipped this year, I think. Last year it was score 5 goals every game, and we just outscore the opposition and hope we can keep them under us. Now it's keep them at 0, and we'll get goals. We're comfortable in that.
Now, Alan M agreed that we have to play to suit the opponent at the end of the day, so we may see the 4-3-3 at some point.
Oh, it'll happen for sure.
Before I get to Good Soldiers comment, we'll go back to chat in a minute. A couple things. I want to remind everybody that if you go to the Atlanta United Fan TV Twitter account, if you go to the Unrelegated Twitter account, Home Before Dark, I believe pinned to the timeline is a link to go and donate. You can go to the Soccer in the Streets page. It's the Atlanta United page. Go and donate. If you donate, hashtag podcast. Put that in your comments of your donation. We're checking that. We'll give you a live shout out on the air, and we appreciate everything you've given so far. We can't do this without you. Also, we have a guest here, Dave Williamson.
That's me.
Superstar Atlanta soccer photographer Dave Williamson.
So this is a little out of your comfort zone because you're used to being behind the camera.
Very true.
Right.
Very true.
So correct me if I'm wrong. You are for the last few years a photographer for the Atlanta Silverbacks. You are also a photographer. You do work with Soccer in the Streets, and you're here today shooting. And you also, for the home matches, at least, you are shooting Atlanta United.
Correct.
Well, how does this happen? How do you get all of these things? Are you gonna leave a spot open for somebody?
Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty of spots.
Get right up on that mic.
Are there as many photographers as podcasts?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably more.
Okay.
So you were originally from Portland, though?
No, I'm originally from here.
Originally from here?
There for a couple of years.
Okay. And you first fell into MLS then with Portland, or how did that go?
Started off with the Chiefs when I was a small kid.
Oh, wow.
Here.
Okay.
Nice.
Rolled over into Silverbacks, Ruckus, moved out to Portland. They were in the USL then. Rolled over to MLS, and it was completely different.
And so, how did you come about working with Soccer in the Streets?
Jason Longshore, I believe, started it.
No, I didn't start it, but I was there for 10 years. I was there for a while.
I think you actually
don't put that on him.
Was it you that asked me to do it, or
I
no,
connected?
It was Shell.
Was it Shell who started?
Yeah.
Who connected to you first?
Shell set everything up, and I guess it started Champions League 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So and everything just kind of snowballed from that fact.
Okay, great. And so, how many years have you been doing this with Soccer in the Streets?
It's about 3 or 4.
Okay, 3 or 4 years. What drives you to it? Why did you want to volunteer with Soccer in the Streets? Why did you want to offer your talents as a photographer to this organization?
Basically, it's all about the kids. They give back to the community. I grew up in DeKalb County. A lot of it was in DeKalb County. So I felt the urge to perfect fit. And it's photography and soccer. What else could I want?
Now, are you like a professional photographer? You have a website? You have all of these things? Do you do things as well in addition to shooting sports?
90% of my work is sports.
Okay.
The other 10% is now real estate.
Okay. How would you compare shooting something like lower league soccer or something like that to being thrown into a stadium with 70,000 people and, you know, Miggy's running by, Tito's flying around, there's red cards flying out? I mean, what is that like? I mean, how do you adjust to that?
You really block it out. It's the same thing. I mean, it's the exact same thing. It's a field. It's 22 players on the field and a ball.
Wow.
That's pretty much it. I mean, you could be in Mercedes-Benz. It can be at Silverbacks Park. It could be in a high school stadium.
So you spent a lot of time in Portland. How excited were you to see Darlington Nagbe come to Atlanta?
You know, it might be swaying me to Atlanta United.
As a fan? I mean, you got to be professional. But
as
you know.
a fan,
You haven't gotten there yet?
You know, we could talk about a tattoo. If somebody wants to donate money, I might be willing to cover it.
Today we're donating for the kids.
We'll get you hooked up with Eddie Stacy.
A podcast-a-thon for a tattoo for Dave.
Yeah,
we're good.
We'll get you hooked up with Eddie, and we'll put something on you. Absolutely,
definitely.
So you're out here shooting today. What's going on right now? Where are we at?
I think we're getting into the knockout rounds.
The knockout rounds.
Knockout rounds. I think we just finished up group stages.
Okay.
So hopefully it's just on these 2 fields, and we're not running around.
Do we know who's still in it?
No,
I don't. I haven't seen the bracket. I know Atlanta United made it to the knockout rounds.
Oh, go
I
figure.
believe Manchester United did as well.
Atlanta United.
Well, Atlanta United, Matt Moore, who I work with on broadcast, Matt's the coach of Atlanta United this year, and I know he worked very hard to put together a very stacked squad to win that trophy back.
To herd all the cats and get them together.
Well, it's difficult to do that because you've got academy coaches all over the place.
Right.
You've got guys with ATL UTD 2 who came back from Tampa to play in this. It's a hectic time right now for Atlanta United, and Matt's herding all the cats, trying to put a good roster on the field and win the trophy, because that was actually the first trophy in Atlanta United history, was the ATL Champions League trophy.
I remember seeing it in the building.
Yep.
In the training ground.
And they're trying to get it back so they can put it back in the training ground.
Yeah.
Because that one goes around. You win it, you get to keep it for a year.
And it was Atlanta United and Liverpool that were in the final last time?
Last year was Manchester United, and they pulled the upset.
Oh, Manchester United. Okay. That's right. Because Liverpool were sort of favorites, I thought.
Liverpool always wins the fundraising side of things, and they did the double, I think, 2 years ago, where they won both.
Right.
The fundraising total and the tournament itself.
Okay.
That's tough to do.
Gotcha. So, if you all don't know, Dave sends us, Unrelegated, a ton of photos firsthand after each home match, and we use them sometimes just straight up, hype pics put out there, and sometimes we make memes.
I just heard there's a couple choice ones coming your way.
And I am so excited to see what's in this package. I saw the zip file, and I'm going to open it as soon as I get home. And
I was given a tease, and yeah, you're going to have some fun with this one.
Yeah, I heard some rumors. So keep a lookout, guys. We always put that on the Unrelegated Instagram account and tweet that stuff out.
Dave, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter. How can people follow you?
Twitter, Instagram. Instagram is Dave W Photography. Twitter, I think, is Dave W Photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Facebook.
It's Dave W Photo on Twitter. It's a little different.
Yeah, Facebook is just your name. I think David Williamson Photography. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard keeping up with all those.
I know, it's a lot of social going on.
Hey.
That's why I have 17 phones.
There you go.
That's how I do it. I heard you could have more than one account on each phone. I just learned that. So.
Oh yeah.
Supposedly in the works is a blog coming out about food and soccer.
I've
Really?
heard about this.
Yeah,
I've heard some things.
Like a coffee table book or a blog. What is it?
No, it's going to be a blog. Where is? I just saw her. Grab Liz.
Yeah, there's things. There have been discussions.
There's discussions about a food blog. Yes.
Okay. Very cool. So how do we find out about that? What's going to happen?
Probably in the next week or two, you will see something starting. I know we're in talks with Jason about doing something.
Yeah, we'll share that out.
Hopefully we should have something live in the next couple of weeks.
All right. Well, we appreciate all the photographs you provide us. We appreciate everything you do for Soccer in the Streets. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
And check him out. Check him out. Here we go. Oh, Lord. AJ, good?
So I just scored a free kick. I'm a little
Was
tired.
there a goalkeeper?
Yeah, there was.
Do you have the YouTube chat up? Because
yes, there was a goalkeeper.
Very
I
nice.
want to see what's going on in the chat. Because we had a question, and I interrupted the chat to go and talk to Dave.
No problem.
Yeah, it's an AMA. We'll take whatever questions, answer them, argue about them. That's what we do.
Oh, keep going. Keep going.
As John would say, efforting.
Efforting here. Yes.
Oh, man. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Please do check out, like I said, our Twitter timelines have the link, the bit.ly/give to ATL CL 2018 link to the Soccer in the Streets page. Hashtag podcast. Put it in your donation comments, and we will give you a shout out on the air. We appreciate you watching. We still have a couple hours here left in the day. Starting to get a breeze going on. I'm loving it.
Is Gordon Wild eligible for the game against Atlanta?
Yes, he is eligible to play. Yes, the loan agreement doesn't keep him from playing against Atlanta United.
I think that's where we left off. Was good? Was it good? Good soldier? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the one.
Cool.
All right.
And then so you already talked about Good Soldier's question then.
No, we didn't.
All right. So Good Soldier's question is, what is Tata's future in Atlanta?
That's a great question, because when you look at Tata Martino's history, he doesn't spend decades in one place. I think the longest he stayed anywhere was Paraguay's national team from like 07 to 11. This is an interesting
situation.
Are
those clubs that really hold on to managers for a long time?
Some do. I mean, yeah, they do. The thing is, though,
Barcelona does.
Hey, here's the deal. Barcelona, Pep Guardiola spent 4 years there, and he said he should have left after the third.
Yeah.
To play this type of system, it's very intensive. To coach in this way, it's very intensive. Tata's not going to coach for a whole lot longer. I don't think he's actively looking for some other higher profile gig, but how long does he want to put blood, sweat, and tears into it? Because he's built the Atlanta United, philosophy on the field from scratch, and that takes a lot out of you. So he did a 2-year deal. This is the second year. There's an option to do 2 more. It wouldn't shock me either way at the end of the year, as if he stays or goes. I don't think he's going to go to another club. I think if he goes somewhere, it would be a national team gig that's a little less intensive. But here in Atlanta, you have to look at it from his perspective. The last 2 places he was, Barcelona and the Argentine national team. He was hounded every day by the media. He was constantly questioned. It was a very toxic environment in both places. Barcelona media criticized him for winning 4-0, but having less than 50% of the possession. It was headlines like, this is awful soccer. You won 4-0. It was awful.
Right.
He doesn't want to go into that type of environment again. Here, he can just work. So I think it's just how long he wants to work. That's really all it's down to. Wouldn't surprise me either way.
Do you think he'll be here longer than Almiron?
Yes, I do. It would not. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if the right deal comes in the summer for Miguel. I know, I don't think he's actively being shopped, but if the right number comes in, you got to take it. And I feel like, especially in the 3-5-2, you just play Tito and Joseph up top, and you play Barco as the 10. Yeah. Ezequiel Barco is a classic number 10.
Yes, huge playmaker.
He is the long-lost playmaker that you don't see emerge much anymore.
Guess who automatically has room to play? Tito.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you were so aggressive in getting Barco when you did.
Right.
And that's why you've also been so aggressive in developing Andrew Carlton and playing him a lot with the second team.
Absolutely. What about some of these rumors coming in?
Hold on, really quickly. Sorry.
All right, fine, Kelly.
The people in the live chat want us to go ahead and reintroduce ourselves just so they can know who all's sitting down. That was the question that was asked. So that's Jason Longshore, the godfather of soccer, really.
No,
you, sir?
no.
I am Christopher Hill, and I work with AJ on Atlanta United Fan TV.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, I am Kelly Francis. I do a podcast with this guy over here, Unrelegated.
Ray Riddle.
Ray Riddle, yes.
Ray Riddle.
Yeah. All right, so who do you guys want to see open up a game with a golden spike?
Kevin just yelled what?
Oh, Run the Jewels. You want Run the Jewels as a Barack Obama.
That's a great call.
Make it happen, guys.
Ric Flair needs to happen.
Yeah, his health willing.
Only thing can do the strut all the way up.
Oh, he needs to do the strut, the robe, the music needs to hit all of it. I want Big Boy and Andre from Outkast together.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Youngbloods last night was awesome,
That
by
was.
the way. I was really excited to see that one.
here, which is the one that asked the question, said Killer Mike is his vote, which is, half of
down with that.
RTJ. Yeah. Which scenario would you rather have? Atlanta United wins U.S. Open Cups and the Supporters Shield, or Atlanta United wins the MLS Cup only?
MLS Cup, man. Sorry.
Personally, as a fan of the game, I'll take 2 trophies over 1. But in the U.S., MLS Cup is so much higher than the others.
Yes.
I think you have to win that first. That
But you know
has to
what?
be the priority.
That's a tricky one because if we don't win the Supporters Shield race, it's unlikely we're getting the aggregate point. It'd be really tight if we actually had enough aggregate points
You win Open
to
Cup,
win
you're going
CCL to win CCL to the, you know what I mean? So
right now you're level.
Right,
with
right.
NYC.
I know, but he's saying either you win the MLS Cup or you win the Supporters Shield and the Open Cup.
But Open Cup would get you in.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Okay,
right, that's right.
Got you. Okay,
Yeah.
as long as we're in the
Which is-
CCL, baby.
Yeah, that's
all.
the
That's
key.
what I'm all about, right, man?
I want to go.
This past season was dope.
I want to see Dukes and Bell do an afternoon drive time show on 92.9
Down in
from Mexico
Mexico?
City.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Mike, I think we need to buy a lot of insurance before that happens.
So you think they'll actually make it back?
There's not enough bail money to cover
I
that.
actually get to supply a truck of Tito's Hard Lemonade to go down there with them. Like
We could just take the whole station down.
everybody, Rick and John, the whole deal.
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you, Austin Harris, for that question. That was a great question.
We have Siempre
There we go.
United with us for translation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll have
I'll
Siempre
go just
United
for the
late night on
margaritas.
92.9. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Hey, can we rotate you in, Luis?
Yeah.
You want to rotate in, or one of you guys want to rotate in?
Yeah, come on, Luis.
Or do we want to pull AJ in? Has AJ been in for a bit?
We
All right.
he didn't give the nod. I think I tried to get him in early.
right.
He's doing something, so he's doing content.
I'm still trying to get
content.
transferred to Siempre United.
You're too late, bro. You lose.
I'm not sure because I've been walking around taking pictures and stuff, but Hunter Black here asked, have you guys already talked about Orlando City's ATL supporters ban? And what are y'all thoughts?
No. That is... Look, there's a lot of bad blood between Atlanta and Orlando. And people say, oh, it's a manufactured rivalry. No. It is so not manufactured. It's legit.
What's
and
up, my man? Give your name so we can give you a shout out.
What's your name in?
Kobe.
Colby.
Kobe, you want to go and wave hi to everybody?
Say hi to the people. Hey.
Good job, man. All right, so back to what you were saying, Jason. You said that a lot of people are claiming that this Orlando-Atlanta rivalry is a manufactured thing, but for people like us, we feel it. We know that this is not manufactured whatsoever.
Not at all. I mean, you see the way the players take it. You see the way the game goes. It's not happening at all where this is manufactured. I can tell you from firsthand experience, we're calling the game. It's an open booth, and Mike and I were being yelled at by Orlando fans a few rows in front of us.
Wow.
Like, we were being heckled throughout the second half by Orlando fans. That doesn't happen in just a normal game. They didn't do that to the Real Salt Lake broadcast.
By the way, shout out to the family of 3 in the Orlando City jerseys that just showed up to watch a Philadelphia Union game in the Benz.
That's random.
Yeah.
That was super random.
He had a life.
They were eager to see
Long stadium.
world-class
I know they want to see someone
soccer.
win.
They lack that in
They haven't seen
Orlando.
much of that here lately.
Yeah, they want to see what it was like to someone win.
4
win a
losses
game.
in a row for Orlando.
Yeah. Hey,
Called it, by the way. Called it.
So Orlando make the playoffs?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't either.
I don't think so.
Not anymore.
Mind the gap, people. It's gonna keep getting bigger.
So
They asked
what's in the chat?
What are there any details on what quote unquote objects were thrown? Does anybody know?
What I heard, and this is all like just secondhand and third hand, I heard it was related to Atlanta fans throwing beer in the air after the goal. I never heard anything about Atlanta fans throwing objects at Orlando fans.
Oh no.
that never happened.
Yeah,
Well, it's like somebody made the comment. How is it possible that they're claiming this when they're surrounded by 6 security guards?
there was a ton of security, and there was an
And they
Atlanta
were
United
filming
staff
them.
member
And they were
there,
filming-
and everybody was
They
filming
said
all
the
of it.
staff was filming them,
Yeah.
like just very, which is weird.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I understand they have a lack of cameras. They're putting in more cameras because of this past behavior or whatever, which is not anything new as far as I'm concerned.
From secondhand, a group of Atlanta United fans tried to go to one of the concession stands and they were mistreated and turned back and said, no, you can't come to this part of the stadium. You got to turn back. They say, we just want to get bottled water.
Right.
Said, no, you should have brought yourself. But they don't let anything into the stadium if you bring it.
If you were in the
hand.
desert, they would give you no water.
They were mistreated. That's like the common comment among the Atlanta United fans that went there. They were mistreated and not welcoming at all. The Orlando staff.
I can agree with that. The staff that we dealt with on the broadcast side was great, but it definitely there was a bit of an edge in the air. Yeah. And in general, that's good. I'm cool with that. I like that it has an edge. I like that the game means a little bit more, but there's no need to do that to fans.
No, and you can feel that intensity off the broadcast, which is a great sort of game to watch. You want a game that's intense that pulls you into it, but there's a level of sportsmanship that needs to be had at things like this.
Professionalism is where I'd go with it.
Yeah, Carlos went on the air with 92.9 and said he was very disappointed. Apparently, they did not go through the normal channels in terms of communicating, even though they said that they did. That did not happen. And so Atlanta United has appealed to MLS to have them, use the standard process that we use, by which the MLS then determined to put the ban down against the Orlando supporters groups for ripping out the Bobby Dodd bleachers and other behaviors. So we'll see what happens. I have faith. Darren Eels is an attorney. I'm sure he's leading the way, sword in hand, and this will all work out fine.
So Elliot Beaven here has a great comment, and I'd love to see your opinion on it or hear your opinion on it. Can we say that DC United is also a rivalry?
Yeah, I think it is. It's not at all as intense.
Right.
I think off the field, there's really nothing off the field on it. But just in terms of last year, they kind of had Atlanta's number. This year, not so much after that first match. Honestly, I feel like there's more of an edge with NYC.
Yes.
I agree.
I think that's
Orlando's claimed rival.
Yes.
Because they've beaten him 5 times, lost 5 times, I think, or something.
Yeah.
So.
Nah, that one, I think NYC is probably the other one that's the most, feeling to it.
I would say Red Bulls.
Yeah, that's getting there. That one's getting there.
I would say both teams right now in New York
I would say Red Bull, since Jesse Marsh started complaining that the United players were kicking his players, trying to hurt them.
That's a good call.
Plus, we haven't been able to beat them. So I would say that
like
Atlanta United has 3 sons. Orlando is that son that thinks he's a badass, but he only listens to trap and all that. That's all he does.
Yes.
And he's trying to get in trouble, but he's not really a criminal. That's Orlando.
He thinks
DC
he's
United.
hard,
DC United is your son that you want him to improve in school, but he's struggling in math and just struggling overall with all his academic performances. And both New York teams are like that son that's really close and you hold dear to your heart, but it's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
So that's how I would categorize them.
No, that works. I like that.
But still, Atlanta is your dad. Remember that.
I like it.
All right. What do we have?
So I don't have really any more new questions other than just people commenting on what we've already talked about.
Okay. Then let me ask you guys something. So we've talked a lot about how soccer in the streets plant seeds and get kids playing. For each of you 3, what hooked you on this game? What got you to doing this and doing shows and talking about it? What made you become a passionate fan of the game?
Alcohol. Just joking.
That's what we pay her in.
I mean, that's what I'm paid with. For me, I watched EPL, La Liga, when I was in college and sort of fell in love with it there. But I think what's sort of tied me to the community now, the aspects of the grassroots, is Atlanta United. I mean, having a local home team here, that's a game that I can consistently go to. It sort of changed my whole conception of the way that soccer works, especially grassroots soccer, because as I said it on our last podcast, I was completely naive. I thought grassroots soccer, like Atlanta Silverback, Georgia Revolution, like their players were like in their 30s. They have like other jobs.
Yeah.
Like that was always what I assumed it was, but I completely mistook the thing. And you got, 17-year-olds playing on that team. You've got the average ages of being 23 and 24. So I think to me, the thing that keeps me going with soccer is that I'm always surprised. I'm always intrigued. There's always something to do. There's always a community event to attend. So it's a family. It's an interactive thing. You don't get that with a lot of sports here.
True.
What was it for you?
I used to play when I was small with this guy, by the way.
Yeah.
And we had very little soccer in TV or on radio. We have no professional league in Puerto Rico, so there was only a few people that actually played soccer in each town. So in a way, it was like a very small, tight community.
Yeah.
So when we grew up playing like baseball and basketball and boxing are the main sports down in Puerto Rico, and only a few people actually played. So we grew together, learning the sport, just playing about. Then leagues started to pop up everywhere. We were able to go through that transition and actually see it grow to where it is right now. I would say that right now soccer is the third, maybe the second sport in Puerto Rico. The second.
Yeah,
I would say
really
it's the second
up
right now. It's really, we even have a professional team in NASL, if that exists. I don't know.
Yeah, the Islanders were great. The Puerto Rico Islanders were great. They were a lot of fun to watch.
Pretty good. So we've seen it grow. It was part of our childhood, if you will. I wasn't good in basketball. I'm really sure that I wasn't good in baseball because I'm not strong. So I played soccer. And
I was asked to leave my soccer team.
Oh, really? Wow.
I was
you drinking?
No, I was. Let's just say this. I was on a team when I was younger, and I think I was like around 8 or 10 at that point in time. But I was LGP aggressive when I played, and so I was sort of been like, maybe this is not the sport for you.
Kelly was showing up with a beer at practice. Hey guys, I'm here.
Hey,
Kelly was the Harris Medunian of her youth team.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some people that will take you on their five-a-side now. I mean, no problem.
That's true. So you might get recruited to play out here in the knockout round.
For real. It gets for real out here.
Water break, and Kelly will be getting shots of Jägermeister.
There you go.
Yeah, let's go.
Did you follow like an international team first, or did you follow like World Cup, or was it like a professional team growing up, or anything like that, or local? What was your local team?
Well, they used to be. It's no longer called that anymore. They used to be Fox Sports. Now it's been channeled into a whole different array.
Fox Soccer Channel is what we had here. Yeah.
Right, but back then it was only Fox Sports in Spanish.
We got Joseph Samuel over there, kissing you, walking around. What's up, boys?
And
is he eating Italian ice? Is that Italian ice?
Come on over. It looks like
nice.
It. So
very nice.
The first game I ever saw on TV was Boca Juniors against Huracan. That was like the first.
Oh, awesome!
The first game I ever seen in my life. Yeah. I was so amazed that I was just flipping channels, and I tuned into Fox Sports. I go like, is that soccer? Yeah. So I just sat down and saw the whole game. So I became a Boca Juniors fan, of course, because I didn't know any better.
It's funny that Argentina was your touchstone, because that was it for me. Like the World Cup in '86.
Oh, yeah.
I had played 1 year of soccer, and I liked it, but I'd never seen it for real.
Right.
And Diego Maradona in the '86 World Cup completely hooked me.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the best World Cups. Like from all time, you know. Having that England-Argentina game with the Falkland Wars ending up just a couple of years before. And that whole spectacle. That a lot of people said that Mexico was not ready to host a World Cup. They lacked the infrastructure, the stadiums, and all that. And it was one of the best ones. So that was it for me. From that moment on, I was completely hooked. Then I started watching like the modern era of internet and all that started coming in, so we were able to see like stream games online and all that stuff, watch Real Madrid and all those. That was it for me. Then I got into coaching, later on reffing, and that's been it through this whole time.
All right.
Now I'm doing this.
Yeah. Hey, hi everyone on the live chat. We got Joseph Samuel. What's up?
With some water ice. Is that mango?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God!
Very nice.
A little bit closer to the mic. Or you can actually hold it if you want to. That makes it easier.
Yeah. Okay.
No, like actually, like that. Okay.
Hot. You can swing the mic stand around. It's all good.
So what brought you out here today? I mean, obviously, other than that, including this, I guess. I'm a terrible person.
This is his office, Kelly.
Yes, of course.
I think it works here.
It is my office. I sleep in the gym.
We actually just landed here.
Oh yes, you just came back.
So I came here to pick up my car. So
and he gets roped into hanging out with us for a little while. Yosef's like, I want to go home, man.
We forced him to not go home now. Thank you. I feel so great. So,
hey, Yosef, how have you enjoyed coming back and playing at home after a couple years in Bethlehem Steel?
Yeah, it's really crazy for me because I'm not like used to having a lot of people come to my games, and it's different. Like when my mom talk about soccer and they're paying attention to everything, it's so different for me. But at the same time, I really enjoy it.
Tell us a little bit for you. Like, you're one of the veterans in that group. You know, you've got a lot of academy guys coming in, and you've played in this league for a few years. How is it like for you being almost like a second captain in a lot of ways?
We have a few other guys. I think they're better for that position because I'm still trying to learn a lot of things on the field and off the field. The last 3 years been rough a little bit. So is this working? Oh. So it helped me grow as a player off the field, and right now I feel I need to go a little bit more on the field. And this guy's like Devin, who's a striker, also is helping me a lot, and I'm trying to get like some things from him. And we have a few other older guys, and us young. I still consider myself one of the youngest ones. So we're all trying to pick up something from the older guys and the coaches. So
it's getting windy. Things are falling. Who inspires your play style?
Who inspires me?
Who inspires your style of play?
From our team or from anywhere?
Just in general.
Let me see. You guys remember Ronaldo from Brazilian?
Original Ronaldo, yeah.
Absolutely.
Original Ronaldo. Yeah. Not Ronaldinho, but the original.
The original, yeah.
That's my favorite player all the time. I don't really have a favorite player right now, but that's what I watch
That's one of my all-time favorite players.
Yeah.
Il Fenomeno. They call them in Italy.
So talking about the international market, obviously, World Cup is coming up. What team are you rooting for? What are your thoughts about the new or the World Cup that we got coming up in general?
I think I don't know who to go for, but probably an African country.
Okay.
It would be nice.
Yes.
It would be nice.
That'd be very nice.
An African country wins it. Nigeria.
They
have
just,
really
did you just
nice.
See the kids
Yeah.
They were
I
awesome.
tried to order the tracksuit and it was like sold out in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes.
15 minutes it took to sold out the whole line. The whole line in the whole world was sold out in 15 minutes.
It is really nice.
It is.
They really did it.
It's different. It's different. It's refreshing.
Yeah, for sure.
What team do you think going into the World Cup is the most underrated right now?
The most underrated?
Yeah.
I feel like Colombia can do some damage. I feel like because they're always good in
Colombia
in all competition. They're really good.
Colombia could win the whole thing or be out in groups.
Yeah.
You know, they're like one of those
thing.
sides.
Yeah,
right.
They could go all the way, or they could crash and burn it.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say even though they were the first seed in their group, I would say Poland.
Poland.
It's one of those teams that no one actually talks about.
Yeah.
But they have the personnel to actually go all the way.
They're kind of like this year's Belgium.
They are.
Belgium is really
They are the
nice.
black horse.
Yeah.
They might take one of the favorite ones and send them home.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, for Poland, I mean, when you have Lewandowski, I mean, that's just like insane.
How about Croatia?
Croatia, with good shot. I mean, like
tough group though.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a little bit of a group of death for sure.
They have some good players
for sure. Well, what's your heritage? What's your heritage?
Ethiopian.
What was that?
Ethiopian.
Yeah. So I mean, it is tough. Yeah. So
it is tough.
Nigeria, right? Yeah.
Actually, I kind of don't like Nigeria because 2 years ago, no, in 2014 for qualifying for the World Cup, if we beat Nigeria, we would have gone through, and we scored a goal and it across the line, and I mean, the ref didn't call it.
Yeah.
Then Victor Moses scored on us, and that was
Soccer is a game of inches.
Yeah.
It is.
One of the teams that I like personally, but I think they're kind of a bubble, is Argentina.
Argentina.
Even though they have Messi, and just having Messi can be an argument to actually say you're going to win the World Cup. They have a lack of production of football in the midfield.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be their demise.
Yeah, for sure. It's just playing as a team. Like Dybala is just a great player when he plays for Juve. So is Higuain, but it's just.
It's really like their attack force is so stacked, and and they're so thin in midfield and in the back line as well.
Yeah,
that
Otamendi is nice though.
Yeah,
I like Otamendi.
I'm not gonna slag him off, but Otamendi is like a walking red card waiting to happen. I feel like, but he will make the tackle when he loves a slide tackle. Is what I mean. So
I would say he will do good if he had like 10 feet long legs or something.
Yeah.
That will help him out a lot.
Yeah.
Is it going to be easy for you guys in the midst of your playing schedule to carve out time to watch?
Right.
I think I'm going to miss like most games.
I don't know how our practice will be, but I know a lot of Argentinians.
Yeah.
And the team
a lot of this building, no doubt about
get the practice schedule moved and stuff. So hopefully we can practice earlier and watch it later.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a little bit bittersweet? I know there's been a broader discussion here in the U.S. not having the U.S. national team in might decrease the interest in World Cup this year. I don't really agree with that. I think soccer's gotten to the point right now where we're all going to watch. But, I mean, to you, Joseph, as someone who plays, is it a little bit bittersweet to be watching this World Cup knowing that there is not an American club in there?
Definitely.
It definitely is because in 2014, you see like the whole streets are like packed with U.S. fans.
It almost feels like we're going to miss out on that,
yeah,
right?
And it's like it's bringing people that doesn't know anything about soccer like into the sport, because a lot of times when the World Cup is when we're in it, everybody just comes because of the atmosphere and it's U.S. Everybody wants to support U.S. So it's like the Olympics, nobody watches track race. Really, I shouldn't say nobody, but like I don't usually do that. So, but when the Olympics comes, I support U.S. and stuff.
In my opinion, it was something that needed to happen in order to have like significant change in the federation. If we would qualify, we will still have Gulati as president and
Bruce Arena as manager.
Bruce Arena as manager. So we're tracing the same path we already did walk and took us nowhere. But so now with that shake of the tree, everything is shifting, everything is changing. Our mindset has to change because we need to start doing things the way the rest of the world does.
Yeah.
If we want to compete with them.
Yeah, for sure.
If we keep doing things differently.
Yeah, I mean that starts from
we won't have if we keep doing things the same, we won't have any different outcomes.
Yeah.
That's Einstein said that's the true meaning of madness. Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting the same results, the different results.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. I think it's bad because we're gonna miss out having our team in the World Cup, but I think it's good because it turns a page towards the future.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we need to find our identity and the style of we want to play, and even when if a coach leaves or get fired, it's like we should still kind of play the same style, you know? Like when you see Arsenal, when Arsene Wenger, he's left now, they bring it the same kind of coach,
Yeah,
you
they
could
brought
tell
in
it was
Unai
them.
Emery. They're still trying to actually play football versus rather, maybe a kind of Atletico Madrid where, you defend more and then you hit them on the counter. So, yeah, definitely. I think that's what the United States men's national team needs is an identity for sure. And, with that, I think it might be a blessing in disguise, like you're saying. It really is.
And I also think there's it's a transition moment.
Yeah.
It's a lot of young players, and a lot of great players like Dempsey and stuff, they're
they're
aging
moving
out.
on.
So
Yeah, right.
it's right now, if we have the World Cup, it would be kind of weird also, you know,
Right.
because you want to fit in this really good young players and also have really good experience. So it's
True. Yeah, it's that kind of balance of like when you're not to say that we were, but like a winning team. It's hard to bring up the young guys. It's hard to blood the young guys as well. So it's that
I was
balance.
I was asking one of my teammates a question: how many of those players that played yesterday would be on the World Cup squad? You know?
If the World Cup were this year?
If we were
Good
in
question. But I like what I saw. Like Shaq Moore, I like what I saw there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would play in
That's
World Cup. Will Trapp, like what I saw. Don't know if he would play in World Cup. Weah, another. I mean, I think he would probably be in the World Cup, but I'm not positive. But I like what I saw there. There's some intriguing players.
Shaq is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's a
I
very
like him.
nice kid.
I mean, we do have at the under 17, under 20s, we always compete. We always go far. We make it to quarterfinals, to round of 16. So
what you're saying is the coaching?
No.
Not only the coaching. What happens after they turn after 20 years old? What happens? Why is there a gigantic gap?
I think it's college because you can't play 3 months and expect to compete against a German player who's been playing the whole year in the Bundesliga. Like that's just
it's true. Yeah,
definitely.
Very true.
Thing is, when you look at what the women's team has done and you compare it to the men's, then the problem goes a little bit deeper. It goes into the grassroots program, to the grassroots level, because we have so many girls playing and we do have a lot of boys playing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when girls turn 18, they're not thinking about, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to get my degree, and I'm going to work, have my own company or whatever. Girls, they want to play on the national team. They want to go pro. So I think it's the mindset. Maybe a lot of the talent is just slipping through our fingers.
Yeah.
We're losing them along the way because the goal may not be as clear for them. I don't know if it's a cultural thing.
Well, but I also think in women's soccer, not to interrupt you, you really only have maybe 6 to 8 good footballing nations in women's soccer. You know, in men's soccer, you have dozens. I mean, it's harder. It's much, much harder for a men's national team without that foundation to be consistently, you know, obviously making the World Cup and going somewhere in the World Cup's a lot different. But it's a lot easier to do that in women's football because, I mean, you have USA, you have Japan, France is getting better. Germany's getting better. England's getting a little better.
Japan.
Brazil. I said Japan. That's pretty much it, though.
Yeah.
You know, and all of them are playing professionally.
Yeah.
Right.
What was your path going up? Do you know anybody in the NPSL that plays?
So we'll repeat that question. So yeah, Joseph, what was your path, and what was the
Do you know anybody that plays NPSL between college or anything?
Do you know anybody that played NPSL and through college, anything like that?
So I went from academy, Union Academy, to Bethlehem, their second team.
Right.
And a lot of players from that who went to college, and they ended up playing NPSL. So I know a lot.
So we have a question from in the chat. Alan M asks, "What are your goals, your personal goals for Atlanta United 2 this year?"
I think for me, it's not. I don't have like a certain thing I want to accomplish. I just want to be able to like learn, and at the end of the season, I'm a lot better than when I started. You know,
become a better player.
Just hopefully a lot of goals, and helping the team get to playoffs. Playoffs are exciting, and it just. I'm enjoying it a lot. So it's I have so much opportunity here, and it just I just gotta work. I just gotta work.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, like, we're definitely rooting for you. Man, your first goal, where you little overhead kick. Man, my God, dude, you had us all just like flabbergasted. But yeah, man, props to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was.
You know
that
what's
was a good
funny
game.
about that?
That was amazing.
Is it who's the PSG forward who plays for Uruguay?
Oh,
the Uruguayan PSG forward.
PSG forward. Oh, yeah.
Cavani.
Yeah, Edison Cavani. Yep.
The night before the game, Cavani did a bike, and I was like, and I keep scrolling
Inspired,
on
yeah.
Instagram, and I keep seeing it,
Yeah.
and I was like, I wish I would get a ball like that. Somebody chipped it really nice to him, and he just kill it. And I usually don't do bikes in trainings or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you get hurt.
For sure.
Sometimes you get
gotta
hurt.
figure out how to land.
Yeah. And so when the ball came, I wasn't really thinking about it. And to be honest, it would have been a bad play if the defender was really close to me, because I could have really hurt that guy. And I didn't even think about it. I just went for it. It was crazy.
It was amazing, man. And I'm still flabbergasted.
Thank you.
Clearly. Okay, so we have another question. Kobe Lyles says, Samuel, if you have watched Arsenal at all, who should we sign?
we should sign?
Who should Arsenal sign?
Everybody.
Yeah. They need a lot of help all over the place.
We need a lot of help.
No. Noozle, you mean?
We need a center back. I think
center back.
Yeah, the Napoli center back. I forgot his name.
Koulibaly.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
That'd be a good
at
shot,
least
bro.
on FIFA, he's really good.
That's your reference point, FIFA.
Good
yeah.
If he's good in FIFA, they ought to sign it.
For sure.
Right.
All right.
We need center backs. I'm a huge Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
What
And
do you think about Emery? What do you think about the new coach?
Unai Emery, the new coach.
I don't know. It's not about the coach. It's how much. I guess it's how much they're gonna give him to buy
play with.
players.
Yeah, because it's the board as well.
Yeah. I think Arteta didn't come because they were giving him 50 million or something.
Yeah. Well, it was
$11 billion.
Yeah. No, I think it was that, and apparently it was something about giving him. The whole structure has changed.
Yeah.
Apparently they're going with the director of football. They're going with head of scout and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
So instead of like how Arsene Wenger, he had full autonomy.
Yeah.
And so
But they
Arteta was
wanted-
not going to be allowed that. So I think that was probably why. But and Unai Emery is like used to that type of setup at Sevilla, at PSG, obviously. So
I didn't think Arsene Wenger was a bad coach. I think he's a good coach, and I love the playing style. That's why I like Arsenal.
Yeah.
But like these days, you have to spend money. It's
For
just
sure.
you have to spend money.
For sure,
If you want to finish top 4 or win it, you have to spend money.
Sure. Yeah, because Obi. Yeah. But he's over Nigeria now, so.
Joseph, let me ask you this. First of the 2 big road trips have finally come to a close. I mean, 6 of 7 on the road.
Yeah.
And then, I think there's an indie match in here somewhere, and then you finally have matches on the 13th and the 16th.
Yeah.
See what we've been dodging all day? You got 2 home matches coming up.
I don't want a concussion.
Yeah, I know, right?
For everybody watching,
Yeah.
what has it been like for you guys to pack up your lives, go on the road, come back home, train here, pack up your lives, go on the road, come back here? What is that madness like? And remember that this isn't the last time you're doing something like this. After those 2 matches on the 16th, it's another 7 of 8, I think, on the road with the 1 match in mid-July. What's that like?
It's crazy because I want to go to the pool on like Friday nights. My family always like gathers up on Fridays, and we always go to the pool. So my mom always asks me, "Are you home this Friday?" No, and she kept asking me for weeks, and she was like,
So you feel like you're a bad son if you don't make the.
No, this schedule is crazy. We're just like bouncing back and forth, back and forth.
It's very tight. It's tighter than the MLS schedule by far.
Yeah. But at the end of the year, we have eight in a row.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, you got 9 of your last 12 at home, including the 7 in a row to finish, and then 9 of your last 12 at home.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
So basically, what you're saying is you're going to be spending a lot of Fridays back at home in like October.
Yeah. But it's good that our schedule is kind of like this.
Yeah.
All the away games are now instead of later on, because at the end that's when everybody's fighting for a playoff position and stuff. Right. So we'll have a good. Yeah.
Maybe less fatigue. Maybe we don't have to travel as much.
Yeah,
definitely. Because do you feel like that gives you heavier legs, or does it not really affect you?
It's hard practicing and then going on the plane and then like the whole process. Personally, I don't like flying and stuff because it's just the process. It's not the I don't like planes, but it's just the whole process is just too long for me. It forces me to sit in the same place. So.
Well, what's it like for a guy like you to learn from someone like a Tata Martino and a Scott Donnelly? What's it like to learn from these guys? Because everybody is still, this one mass learning everything from the top down. What's it like to learn from coaches like that?
When Tata is like, when he's coaching, even Scott, they're so passionate. It's just, I love watching them coach, because when a coach is coaching like that, it makes you want to like work for him. Because in the past I had some coaches that just stand the whole practice, and then they say something. We don't learn much from that. When a coach is here on a 90-degree weather and he's going everywhere, he's running, showing all the players what to do. It's really nice.
His.
I never see that. So we have so Joseph might be being summoned, but
we're gonna let him finally eat his dessert and cool off.
I know, right?
I'm
so sorry about that.
Go get your water.
Yeah, it's a drink now. Okay, so we have one last question from our chat room. It's Alan M, and he asks, "How has your experience with Steel differed so far with Atlanta United 2, and what experience has crossed over to help you?"
It's just like learning, being patient, and just put your head down and working. Really, I had some tough times because I just felt like I deserve it. I need to play. Sometimes it's not that.
Yeah.
The coach needs somebody in a certain position. So, and it was hard for me to adjust to that from academy and playing all the time, and also the older guys just like they helped me a lot, and I just feel more confident. I feel more like stable.
Right, definitely, yeah. Well, Joseph Samuel, thank you so much for joining us, man. Hopefully, you
enjoy
your
dessert, man. We completely and totally
distracted
you from your orange ice for like a half an hour.
Yeah, I know. It's
completely
like he brings
just
it over,
now. And he starts munching on it, and then it just sits there.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Next home match is the 13th. You got 2 home matches, 13th and 16th for ATL UTD2. Joseph Samuel, good to see you.
Yes.
Hopefully, Jill went to go get Abdul, who's the coach for the Clarkston FC team. Jill with Soccer in the Streets is coming over. We'll swap her out as well as Abdul, hopefully, whenever he gets over here in just a few minutes. So.
All right.
Oh, feels good to be back in the hot seat.
Right.
Literally, it is just sweltering.
You haven't come on yet, right?
Well, I'm Lars Garcia from Siempre United.
Perfect. Welcome.
Wait a second, Coach. Are you coming over here now? Are you coming, Coach? Is this your time, or are you still waiting?
We can. All right.
Matt Moore, the coach of the Atlanta United squad, in between matches, is coming over here.
He's wiping out the sweat from his eyes. It's just
he's
impossibly hot here.
So be sure to keep those donations coming, guys.
Definitely.
Go to bit.ly/give to ATL CL 2018. Donations will
link
still
below.
be open all the way through June 8th. And like I said, we'll be getting some people on associated with Clarkston FC here momentarily. Until then, aside from the heat, how's it been today, guys?
You know, it's been a lot of fun, I think. Yeah, we've got a lot of guests that have come through. Darren Eels, Samuel, obviously. Mike Conti from 929. Yeah, it's been
See, but Mike has been a part of the swap out now. He's part of the tag team.
For
It's just
sure.
like, all right, it's like you look at him, it's like, okay, does he want to come in?
I feel like he's an official member of the podcast.
Yeah,
at this
for sure.
point,
Tags
right?
out. Yeah, well, I mean, he's got golden ticket status with us. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know the hotline number, so it's just time
There
to
we go.
dial. You know, whenever he wants to dial in, it's like, okay, so that's Conti. He's dialing in. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so I've got
It's-
Jill and Abdul. If I can get two of you guys to swap
swap
out
out.
these two.
I think
you-
Jill, over here. We'll do a Formula One pit stop.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
for sure.
okay.
I'm not gonna go until. All right, Jill, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. All right, so here we go.
All right.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Jill, how's it going? Good to see you again.
The serial pod crasher.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
All right.
Can I
Yeah,
hold
come
it?
on in. Here we go. All right.
Abdul, what's up, man?
Yeah, actually, I like that better.
How's it going?
Okay.
Go grab a seat.
I'm new at this, so all the
Oh,
coaching
you're
can
not
do
new.
is
Don't
fine.
lie. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever, and by that I mean 2 weeks
been
since I
like
came
2
and
weeks?
recorded with you.
Okay. Oh, look, like father, like son.
Hey guys,
How's it going, Abdul?
it's going good. It's a hot day.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is very hot. So you
Right.
guys leave June 11th, right?
Yes.
For
We leave-
regionals.
Right.
Excited? How's practice been going the past few weeks?
It's been going great. The boys are excited, and we as an organization we're very excited. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. So score prediction. I hate to put the coach on the spot. What are you thinking?
You mean for the regional?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know yet. All I can tell you is we're going to work hard to get the result.
They're ready, man. Being out there for just the afternoon that we were out there and watching them play, man, they're ready and they're excited.
Right.
Oh, definitely. They live to play.
Jill from Soccer in the Streets, you were on just a couple weeks ago on the show as well. Good to see you again.
Me and my ramblings.
With the throwback shirt, no less. We got the
Yes.
camera going.
Yes.
You had mentioned you've been with Soccer in the Streets since 91, 92?
Since '98.
Oh, I
as
thought
a
it was since
full-time
92 for
staff
some-
person, yes, and then before that, as a local affiliate since '92.
That was it. That
yes.
was it. Oh.
So I'm the OG.
So you're 1 week out from leaving. As a
Right.
coach, what do you start to do to prepare kids to travel for road ball that haven't been traveling and this is their first time going to regionals?
Right. So I mean, it's gonna be a whole different experience for the kids.
Yeah.
We are just excited to be part of this tournament.
Yeah.
So we prepare now. At practice, we're working on tactics.
Yeah.
You know, for us to stay in a tactical formation right,
Right.
now. But the kids are. I mean, we've been having good practices. So we are actually in a very good mood. So come next week, I think we are going to be ready for sure.
And not to mention the support that they've been getting from folks like you and
Yeah.
just getting the word out has been really important because this is the first time that we as a organization have a club team that is actually going out of state to represent Georgia in a regional event. This is
Right.
a big deal.
And so for those that don't understand, the road doesn't stop at regionals, obviously. So can you guys talk a little bit more about what the next steps are, or even what's on the forecast for next season, even looking ahead to next year?
Holy cow, we just want to get through the month of
I know.
June.
Well, you've always got to have some iron in the fire.
Yes, you're right. Well, I think for us, it's always been about trying to help bridge the gap between a introductory or, I mean, for the Clarkston kids, obviously they're not introductory level players, but I think a lot of times we lose sight of all of the support that has to go into getting kids to play on that level. I mean, playing rec ball, you basically show up and play, but when you play in a select division, you're talking about birth date, proof of age. You're talking about having all your paperwork in order. You're talking about player passes. You're talking about being, on time for warm-ups, and down to what color socks you can wear. So we're having to scrounge up socks of the appropriate color to take to regionals because they're very strict about
jerseys
that.
and everything. It's not just That was one of the things that we said is it's A, it doesn't stop at regionals. B, it's not just travel. It's travel. It's food. It's hotel. It's the jersey. I mean, everything.
Yes.
These kids they need it all to be able to. I mean, they've clearly got the skill. They've got the talent. It's just facilitating all the
infrastructure.
Exactly.
And when you don't have parents that are able to do that, because if you look at the typical Atlanta Metro Club teams, you usually have a parent who's your team manager. You've got parents who make sure that the kids get to matches, and if they're in the Region 3 Premier, they were taking kids to those matches out of state and taking care of hotels, and they understand all the logistics and they're cool with it. But you're talking about dealing with 16, 17-year-old boys who don't understand all the logistics, not to mention coaches that in a perfect world, coaches coach.
Right.
And you have administrators who provide the support, because it's a big job across the board for any of those individual roles. And so to try to bridge that gap, it means that we're having to hire staff in place of what has been traditionally volunteered. So it is a burden to try to put all this together. And now we're having, several teams in the select division from Clarkston, not to mention girls, and now younger kids. Fortunately, with the juniors, we do have more parents involved. So, a lot of them we're finding out are their parents are the refugees and their kids are the first generation Americans. They were born here.
Right.
So they're a little bit closer to getting to that, that typical soccer experience in the U.S., even though we're still,
And you guys have 22 kids traveling. There must have been 50 out there playing. How do you wrangle so many kids and how do you coach that? I mean, how do you approach that from a coaching standpoint?
I mean, for every practice, we have like 35 to 37 kids that will show up. So we select players based on their consistency. So the ones that have been coming, that have been with the program for a long time, not necessarily by talent, because all of them can pass a soccer ball. So we select players based on what our program is about, which is soccer in the street, enabling kids, teach them life lesson through soccer, staying in school, be positive. So we basically, as coaches, we chose the players based on the organization's, mission.
Right.
So that's how we've been all these years.
So how did you get involved specifically over at Clarkston? I mean, I know you play over at Silverbacks.
Right.
How'd you get roped into Clarkston and coaching?
I used to work at College Park for soccer in the street with Coach Jill here. So, one of the coaches moved out of state. He was my cousin, Shaka Bangura.
Gotcha.
So when he moved out of state, and luckily for me, I was moving around Clarkson. So the organization just moved me to be the coach for Clarkson. So which was amazing for me.
Yeah.
And for me, as a refugee, just like the kids, it just gives me joy to do. I'm actually loving every bit of it.
That's awesome. So. And you've got the inherent ability here. I mean, you've got one hand on the mic and one hand on the child trying to keep everything under control. If at any time you need to step away, don't hesitate. I know how it can be, and you've got to keep them entertained and keep them interested.
That's right.
Okay, so coaching, you're in the final stretch. You've got them ready. You go to regionals. So do you know where nationals are next? Do we know?
I admit that I don't. It was, like I said, this is our first time at regionals, and even that is, a big step for us. So I think we're kind of crossing that bridge when we come to it.
Because I'm under the belief that it's going to happen. Like I said, I mean, seeing those kids play, I mean, I'm sold at this point.
Speak it into existence. So, and then also speak into existence the cost of going there too. You know,
so keep those donations coming, guys.
Flooding in, GoFundMe for Clarkston FC.
But the kids are also doing stuff themselves. I mean, we talked about it off air. Maybe you guys could talk a little bit about the charity or the fundraising efforts that they did yesterday for themselves for regionals.
Yes, that was so. The idea with Clarkston FC and the LifeWorks program that Abdul mentioned about teaching them skills off the field as well. We formed a youth leadership team earlier this year when they did the spring break camp. And they themselves selected the leaders among them to take on the task of deciding what activities they're going to do related to things like employment, education, fun and social and community service. So they have these different areas that they said are important to them, and then certain issues within the community that they said were important to them and things they wanted to see happen. And it's interesting because doing fundraisers kind of comes second nature if you've been working in a charity for as long as some of us have.
Right.
But for kids who've never done this before, I think they almost doubt their ability to be able to do this. Even simple projects like organizing, we did Sports Mania a couple of weeks ago where they wanted to try sports besides soccer. I know that sounds crazy, but they've not experienced
there are no other sports other than soccer. What are you talking about?
Well, in their lives, not. But then they're like, well, why not? So they played volleyball and kickball.
Oh, nice!
And it turns out they love volleyball. We did a makeshift net there at the
Did it turn into
center.
soccer volleyball? Be honest.
Well, we did have to implement a rule that they couldn't use their feet, but they were allowed to use their heads.
I like it as we want to play other sports. We want to play other sports, but it's going to be things we're going to still use our feet. That's right.
How many spikes did we have that were headers?
There weren't any header spikes, but they there's some of them that are quite good, and the boys seem to really like volleyball.
Oh, nice.
And so when we were doing the Clarkston Champions League as a fundraiser, by the way, the question you asked originally was about their fundraiser, which was on Friday, by the way. They because they have training on Saturday, so we had to do it on Friday. While the matches were going on, they had this makeshift volleyball net, and somewhere they have scrounged up a volleyball, and they were playing volleyball while the soccer games are going on.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Somebody asked in the chat if they played any handball, and by that, do they play any American football?
Actually, somebody did bring a American football out during the Sports Mania. So towards the end, they were tossing a football around.
Okay.
So that. They are familiar, but not very versed in the game.
I mean, that's just it's a fascinating thing for us growing up, or me. I can only talk for myself, I guess. Growing up in such a different culture environment to them, and that there are so many other sports, but seeing how they can gravitate to another sport like volleyball and begin to love that sport also, and sort of just grows, I guess, the community in a whole.
Well, speaking of other sports, it is somewhat regional because, like, for us in Georgia, you don't see male volleyball teams, but I have a couple of nephews that play volleyball in their schools out west.
I've never even thought about that. Now, I'd never see that. You're absolutely right.
But these boys really took to it. And I live in an area of Clayton County where there's a lot of Asians, and they have some areas where they've set up volleyball courts, and the men get out there and play volleyball on a regular basis.
That's
I see
awesome.
crowds there. So it was kind of cool to see this start to blossom. And I told them we need to find them. So if anyone knows of some proper volleyball equipment, like a net, proper net, because right now they're using my clothesline.
Right.
So I sacrificed a clothesline, and it has no net on it. It's just basically a cord that runs across the unused basketball court. But to them, it's a volleyball net.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find. We'll be able to get you a volleyball net, no problem.
That would be
Not a problem.
awesome.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of cool. But it's kind of funny how we're doing Atlanta Champions League here on this Sunday, and they decided that their fundraiser, we talked about doing a car wash, and they're like, no, coach, we don't want to do a car wash. Because last year they tried to do one, and it was not fun. And so they said, we want to do a tournament. We want to do a soccer tournament, have people pay to play. So they charged $3 per player.
Okay.
And they had... Their publicity was mainly through social media and word of mouth, but they had 14 teams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
So it was 10 boys teams and 4 girls teams.
Okay.
And did a bake sale too, right?
We did that. Well,
I love me a bake sale.
So the concession stand, it turns out, was a late night chat on the day before. Coach, can you bring snacks?
Oh, boy.
So what am I bringing snacks for? Oh, we want to sell them. I'm like, well, what should I bring? And it's like, I better not be the one out there selling those things all day. So nice enough to report
Prove
that.
to improve. That's great.
Yes. Well, we are going to do a debrief, so we'll see what
good.
worked well. But we had a couple of. It was great. We had a couple of the girls out there running the concessions, and they were running it too. And they're like, no, it's $1.50 for that. And there were boys coming up asking for water, like, give us $1. And so
nice.
Yeah, they ran it like a boss.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I was younger and I decided to make a makeshift lemonade stand on my street and demanded I be paid 50 cents per cup.
Oh, yeah. I lived out in rural South Carolina and did the same thing and ended up just drinking 4 gallons of lemonade in a day.
Well, my postman bought all of my lemonade, so yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm good.
No, you go ahead.
I didn't know if there was anything in the live chat.
No,
That's what I was going to
there's
ask.
nothing else in the live chat. I'm going to go ahead and ask again to get some more questions into soccer in the streets.
So where's Adam at today?
I think we gave him the day off.
Right. I just spoke to him earlier, so he was just asking how is the Champions League. So he's still trying to get some paperwork for the rest of the team.
Gotcha. Well, so one of the common questions that keeps coming up, we're on the eve, well, not really the eve, but coming up is World Cup. Thoughts going into World Cup? Now that U.S. isn't in it, half the teams that I would pull for aren't. And so who are you thinking for World Cup? Who are you pulling for?
Well, to be honest, without the U.S. not being in the World Cup, it don't feel like a World Cup to me. You know, the high.
No U.S., no Italy, no Netherlands.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of those weird World Cups. Yeah. We don't know, but for sure, I always go for England. Yeah. So I mean,
Elliot Beaven in the chat also agrees with you.
Right. Yeah. With all the African teams. So
I think England and Germany are safe bets to be somewhere.
Right.
I'm going full France.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Parlez français?
It's
parler en français un peu, oui. I am actually traveling to Paris at the end of this year. Yeah.
Nice.
Oui, moi aussi.
Ouais. I love French.
Yeah. Nice. No, on parle un peu.
On parle un peu, ouais. J'ai étudié français.
Okay.
Et lycée pour like 4 ans, so.
Yeah, I think I took a year in college and got C's, so it didn't stick.
My schooling for French was being taught through French music videos. So like we watched like one of the ones I can still remember this day was Et tu bébé. It was like basically these 2 little babies like singing Et tu bébé. He knows the song Et tu bébé.
Yeah.
It's a great song. It's a great song. But yeah, go ahead.
Jill, so what are you thinking for World Cup?
So my family heritage is German and English, so that's why I'm rooting for France.
Oh, there you go.
I'm German, Scottish, and French, and I'm going full France.
I'm Team Geiger because I think he's going to sway a couple of those decisions.
Oh my goodness.
I think he might be the ultimate winner in the World Cup.
Well, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
So Germany always looking strong, so you never know.
Side note to this question, is going to be our first World Cup with VAR. And dramatic silence
right there. Yes.
Exactly.
Anybody had thoughts on that?
That was a loud gulp.
Yeah, it was a different back.
Geiger plus VAR equals.
Yeah. I guess you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think ultimately technology is going to be a part of it at some point. And, you know, if you're going to muck up a World Cup, you might as well get it over with.
It's not a soccer podcast without talking about VAR. So what are your thoughts on it? How's it changed the game? What are your thoughts, Abdul? What do you think about VAR? Do you think it's good for the league, good for the sport?
VAR was
the video assistant referee.
Oh, well, I think it slows the game down.
Yes.
You know, and
very much so.
I think, I mean, of course, it stopped cheating or correct mistakes, but I think mistakes should be part of the game.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's good in some ways. It has its advantage and disadvantage. But overall, for me, I think it shouldn't be no video. I just think it's going to be error in the game.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Gotcha.
But
I mean, there's error in the game with it, so.
right. So why not, for me, in my opinion, why not leave it? You know, so, but yeah.
But it's funny to have watched soccer, and not having been a high level player, I don't know that I really can have an opinion, but as a spectator and a fan, seeing how soccer has evolved over the last 30 years since I started watching it and being involved in it, and you look at some of the rule changes, like going from 4 steps to 4 seconds for the goalkeeper and not being able to pass back, and changing the offside to even is on. And so these small changes have changed the speed of the game dramatically.
Absolutely. Right.
And so these subtle things, and VAR isn't quite as subtle, but I think at some point when we kind of settle into the system, it'll just be another part of the game that we become accustomed to, just like video replays. Or, I mean, the video replay is part of the spectator's experience.
It is. Right. Yep.
And so why not use it to your advantage if it could make the results more fair, I guess. Right. And so I don't know. I'm just trying to keep an open mind.
You have a point. I think like for me, playing for 8 years without videos, now maybe for the new generations, I think that's okay. But if you ask any player that have been playing for 5-6 years, they will tell you, no, leave it as it is.
Yeah.
But I think I understood your point. You know?
So I have a great question here in the chat. It says, how has Atlanta United's popularity spilled over to folks who have long been invested in soccer in Atlanta for years?
I am blown away, because the thing that comes to mind immediately is the rising tide raises all ships.
Yes.
And when I came to Atlanta 20 years ago, parents and teachers and leaders in these neighborhoods where we work now were saying things like, well, these kids don't want to play soccer, or, you know, we play football. And there was not just a reluctance, but almost a hostility against playing soccer. And it was a closed shop in essence.
Right.
And now, not only is the soccer community embracing outreach programs, but the neighborhoods where we're really making inroads that, and not to minimize the efforts that are happening in places like Clarkston, but frankly, in my opinion, that's low-hanging fruit, because those kids already love soccer.
Right.
There's already a soccer DNA in that culture.
Right.
But go to the West Side and see how much soccer is in that DNA.
Yeah.
Try zero.
Yeah.
And so more and more parents are saying, hey, we want our kids to be exposed to these opportunities too. And kids are talking about soccer like they're more familiar with it.
Right.
I mean, there's still some resistance, but it's just an unfamiliarity. And as it becomes more exposed, I mean, I take the MARTA in and out to the matches, and I take MARTA on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah.
Strangers on the train that are just coming to and from a job are like, what's that shirt you're wearing? Or was there a soccer game today?
Yeah.
And they're asking questions. And I had a woman call me. I gave her my card, and she called me like, I want to get my son registered to play soccer. So you're talking American families, particularly African American families, that are now saying, we want to be a part of this too because it's an exciting time in our city.
Very exciting time.
Yeah.
Very. So what Coach Jill was saying, it has become so popular. You know, before I remember back a few years back when we used to work at those West End area, we had like no interest from the kids, but now we have them in numbers. So very exciting time.
Definitely.
I will agree. Yeah. I before Atlanta United, I mean, I watched soccer. I watched in La Liga. I watched the EPL. I watched a little bit of MLS. And you could try and talk about it with people, but it wasn't a conversation that they wanted to keep up for very long. But now it's like I'll walk around and I'll see somebody in an Atlanta United shirt or with an Atlanta United sticker and immediately spark up a conversation and then and a whole new platform for engaging between socially between people that you would have never done before has now been open because of this team and because of the draw that it has and the excitement around it.
Well, it was waiting to happen in Atlanta. I mean, it's such a culturally diverse city that it was just a matter of time. And so I feel like what Atlanta United has done is it's just sort of, I always go back to this term, but galvanize the population in some way. That it's given them a rallying cry in some way that has brought everybody together. And then people that, I mean, I played in high school and a little bit in college, and I haven't played in years. But now every day I talk about it, I'm like, God, I just want to touch the ball again.
Yeah. Right. Can I get something off my chest? I am about tired of these other cities and clubs saying, oh, you know, Atlanta United, the club that's bought and paid for, and Atlanta, you know, with this new soccer city.
You mean we're plastic?
I mean, we're plastic people, yeah.
Plastic.
And you know what? I say that it is about time that these long-suffering Atlanta soccer fans finally got what they deserve.
Absolutely.
A club that gives a crap about putting a quality product on the field and in the front office and includes their fan base in the decision making and also in, you know, making everyone a part of this. I mean, it's always been inclusive about MLS in Atlanta. And I have a confession to make. Atlanta United has made me love soccer again. Before I was kind of, you know, getting a little, I would resist watching it on TV so I wouldn't get burned out because I was around it all the time and I was out there with the kids and I love the kids and I love being a part of that. But pro soccer just was kind of a.
Oh yeah, balls are flying in our faces.
Yes,
Fine.
I'm like just incoming. But I was just kind of trying to avoid the burnout. But now, I mean, I read the Facebook chats,
the reports,
the Twitters.
Yeah.
I listen to all the podcasts. I mean, I am consumed with
I'm
it.
obsessed with Jason Longshore and
Right.
Mike Conti. They're not even here. They didn't even hear that. They'll hear it eventually.
All right.
No, so I was going to say mic drop in that instance, but I'm not allowed to physically drop a mic, so I'm just going to say mic drop.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, I think we're going to start swapping out. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you guys. And you guys are always welcome to come out and check us out before we
we
leave.
will be on a regular basis. Now.
Right.
We're a part of that family.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Abdul.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, man. That was cool. That was cool. Let's go.
So while we're swapping out, guys, just a quick reminder, donations are still open. All the efforts are going to support these kids that we talked to Jill.
Oh, they're passing
and
out
Abdul
fans.
about Clarkson
Oh, thank you,
FC.
Gas South. I will take a fan.
You can make your donations
Oh, yes,
at bit.ly/give to ATL CL 2018. And be sure to hashtag it with podcast. Get a shout out on the show. Sorry, Kelly, I muted your mic for just a split second there. You should be good now.
You're fine. I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
I was just so
Thank you.
excited about the fans. Thank you,
Awesome.
Gas South, for
Austin, why don't you come pull up a seat, my man?
I wonder, am I allowed to take this into the match?
It's been a podcast. It's been a podcast of presidents. What better way?
Hello.
To have yet another join us.
Hello.
Can you hear me all right, guys? Okay.
Yeah.
And everyone can
That's a
always
rhetorical
hear
question.
you, Jay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'll go ahead
This
and
is
turn
the
yours
first
down
time
a
I
little
think
bit.
Have we?
Hey!
Oh, hey!
It's El Presidente
What's going
from
on?
Terminus
What's going
Legion Austin Long here to join us.
Thank you, Austin, for joining us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You guys are doing an awesome job. I cannot believe you guys are doing this, but 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
Or give or
Well,
take.
we lost an hour. You're welcome.
So it's more like 4, but that's fine.
4, yeah.
Snap a picture and tweet out that he's here so everybody knows.
Yeah.
And then, so the reason I want to have Austin on is first, we've been using the Terminus Legion tent. We just took it over for the remainder of the whole day.
Here to serve. Here to serve.
So thank you for that donation. Secondly, I noticed that you guys dropped like 2,500 or 2,300 or
2621, but who's counting?
2,621 a few days ago onto the donation page for Soccer in the Streets.
That's crazy.
Which is amazing. That's incredible. We know you guys have been working with Soccer in the Streets all of last season and this season as well, but that seems like a big number. That's a big deal. What does that compare to what you guys did last year?
So for last year, we donated. I think we came in around 5,500 for the year. So we did about 2,100 for.
You're already more than half the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scoot in a little bit, Austin. You're just clipped off the screen just a tad bit. We're all friends here.
Am I
Come
in?
on There you go. You're good.
All right.
I have
we
to sit
did
closer to Jay.
Get used to it.
Yeah, we did about 2,100 for Nations Cup a couple months ago. Then we just transitioned right into Champions League, and we had our tailgates. The weather has cooperated, and we not yesterday so much, but we tailgates. Lots of people have been coming, donating. Our raffle drawings, our drawings have been going really well, and people have just been super generous. And so we did 2,600 earlier this week. So then we have the watch party for New England, and then we have whatever we raised yesterday. So Claire's putting that together, and we'll be adding that on top of that. Our goal is our new goal was 3,000 for this event.
That's so awesome.
And beside that, I mean, there's a dollar amount, but you mentioned the watch parties, even just helping us out. I mean, you guys' effort to help us with the FIFA tournament and all of that. We can't thank you enough for all of that stuff. I mean, the things that you guys do in the community is hands down some of the best stuff.
Well, one thing we wanted to do this year is go above just raising money, right? We raise a lot of money. We're happy to do it. We wanted to be more hands-on. So we have almost 30 people here today volunteering. Home Before Dark Network has provided us several opportunities, live podcasts, the FIFA tournament. You guys were super helpful for the poker tournaments that we've done. So we just got more avenues now, and there's just more stuff to do. There's more ways to help, and we want to keep helping. We want to do more hands, not so much, not in addition to the money. So there's always more to do.
It just makes sense. I mean, a lot of the conversation today has been based around the community. I mean, whether it's talking to Darren about it or Mike Conti, everybody's talking about how tight-knit this community is and how it's opened its arms to any and everybody. And so I think that speaks to the fundraising efforts that we've all tried to do as well, is that we want the community to get involved so that they're not just putting out money and not knowing where it's going or what it's.
And I mean, you guys put together the Clarkston thing, and that sort of popped up, and we weren't exactly sure how we could help, but we're like, well, we'll raise money, and then so Terminus Legion's matching dollar for dollar whatever our members raise. I don't know what our number is right now. I know it's more than $500.
Yeah, I think it's right around 600.
Okay.
So that'll be another 600 on there too, which is awesome. And yeah.
So I'm not going to get my bonus this month, but that's okay.
Suck it up.
Sorry, it's for the kids. It's for the
Doing
kids.
it for the kids, man.
That's right.
For the kids.
Mostly for them kids.
Mostly for them children.
Just start charging for the tent next time.
Yeah.
That's
Just say it's a $600 tent, guys.
Yeah.
$600
a day. Absolutely.
up front.
So have you guys talked about the game last night? I haven't been really even talk about the game yet.
I haven't. I know that it was brought up, I think, right when we first started.
Jay,
this.
you had that conversation, didn't you?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it, formations, things like chat was talking about it. I mean, what's going on in chat right now? Anybody chatting up the thing?
No,
Kelly's not on it. All right, fine. We'll just go somewhere else.
You have just people talking about the question that we had with the World Cup. I mean, it's a question that we've been asking pretty much everybody.
I'm going to jump in right here. If the people watching on YouTube can see Rebecca, it makes this happen.
Tailgate coordinator, sat down here.
She makes this happen. I'm just here. I'm just a voice, but she makes all this happen. So I want to publicly thank her.
What's up, Rebecca? How are you?
You have gotten a lot of sun. Back-to-back days out, whether it's in the Gulch or out here, the weather is just brutal the past 2 days.
My tan lights right now are out of control.
Okay. I was just giving the secret passcode to Kelly's phone. 1776, everybody, if you ever find her phone. No.
Freedom.
Actually, I just forgot the number because I just made something
You
up.
could use the Orlando City formation year, but we don't know exactly when that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
0000.
Rebecca was kind enough to help me set up these tents in the morning because I got here way earlier than I initially
And then we still started late.
Yeah, we still started late anyway. So, but Rebecca, you're doing a lot with, I know, the tailgate efforts. You play on, it's weird because did you play on a team last year?
So I played.
Put it right up there.
Hello,
There you go.
Is this good?
Yeah,
So I played on a league with Soccer in the Streets down at 5 Point Station, and I mainly just play softball and stuff.
Okay.
She did inter-SG tournament.
How long
I
you been
did.
doing? How
I
long
did
you been doing
that,
that stuff?
Softball?
No, not softball.
Oh.
The playing with Soccer in the Streets or doing the
I did
sides or
I
whatever.
did
it
a
is.
couple seasons, and then I played in that inter-SG tournament for Terminus Legion last year.
Yeah. Why do you do so much? Why do you do all these things?
I like to stay busy.
That is definitely something that you
I don't
are.
like being bored. So.
Yeah, yeah. I constantly see you everywhere. Wherever we go, you're setting up tailgate, you're breaking down tailgate, you're doing the Soccer in the Streets, you're playing matches, you're going on road trips with Austin and everybody else down to Orlando, causing havoc down there. I mean,
Somebody has to keep
to me,
this
that's
ball in check.
that's what a supporter is. You're like, you got all the boxes ticked, right? Volunteering, going on road trips, doing the thing. You're in the front with Jason Wells and the helmet and the flag. Second row. Last night I saw you on TV
holding the alien.
I had the alien, Carlton.
Right in the supporter section, and then
That's
you're
it.
right here. You beat me here. You were here already when I got here at 8:30 in the morning.
Well,
Already setting up.
that's why. So yesterday she did all of that, right? And then she was here first
7:30.
7:30.
Yeah, she was here an hour before I was. I was on my couch last night. Yeah,
yeah,
unbelievable. So why do you volunteer so much for Soccer in the Streets? How'd you get into it? Was it through Terminus Legion? Was it before that?
No, I got into it through Terminus Legion. I joined last August, so I haven't even been in for very long. I met all these people, and they're awesome. And, I just wanted to jump in and immediately be active. And Austin passed on the charitable events to me, so try and plan something every month and, hang out. Like this is our, what month is it? June? I don't even know what day it is. This is our June service project for Terminus Legion. And then I'll book a July one, probably helping out in a Guardians or something like that.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of service projects.
Yeah, she was very instrumental in. So Jillian, the first time we met Jillian was for Beyond the Stands,
right?
And she made all that happen. Trees Atlanta, and so yeah, she's done an amazing job for us. So we're very, very appreciative.
So what's next? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh no, I was going to say, could you talk a little bit more about those efforts with Trees for Atlanta and stuff like that?
What was the question?
Trees for Atlanta, other things you guys do.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about what that is, what those efforts entail?
Not smoking trees for Atlanta, guys. Just trees for Atlanta.
We are not in Colorado.
Yeah.
Exactly. In October, we did Trees Atlanta. We were featured on Beyond the Stands. So we just went out, planted trees.
Was Jillian the one that did that?
Yes, Jillian.
So that's ironic. Yeah, we just had her on earlier.
So I met her there, and then we did work over at Woodlands Garden. It was in March.
Yeah.
March, we did Woodlands Garden. April, we did Nations Cup for Soccer in the Streets as well. It was a bit smaller than this, but still a really great turnout. May, we skipped just because the schedule was so insane with games and everything. This is our June service project, and then we'll try and do something. We also work with like Habitat for Humanity. I find random things on like Hands on Atlanta, and just find charitable events for us to volunteer at.
So Alan M in the live chat actually makes a good point to that. So where can people find out what Terminus Legion charity events are coming up, and do they need to be a member to participate?
So the broad answer is terminuslegion.com. Everything that we do goes through there. And then the members get emails and the member discussion page. But the answer is no, you do not have to be a member. We, all of everything that we do is open to Atlanta United fans. So we will, if you go to the Terminus Legion Facebook page or on Twitter, those will both be posting it where we'll be in July. So we love meeting new people, and if people want to get involved, we'd love to have them.
Also got a question. What's your jersey? I mean, I can see what it is.
Oh, yeah. So this is my,
give it a flash.
It's really ugly. It's disgusting.
This is my Manchester United third shirt from 1994 to 1996. It has the crest that they wore in the 1968 European Cup final, watermarked into the shirt. It also has the names of their most famous players. I don't know how but anyway, it's in there. Look it up. It's one of my most prized possessions.
You took it out of the case to wear today.
I was going to say, you are a bit of a self-proclaimed kit nerd, as it were.
Yeah. He's reformed. He's trying to stop spending money.
So if you
this
could
mystery kit thing has been driving him crazy.
If you could narrow it on one or two of your favorites, and then what are a couple that every collector has one or two that they're just waiting to try to get an opportunity to get. So favorite kit that you own and favorite that you would like to own.
So my favorite that I own is the 1999 Barcelona Centenary kit. It's the half and half with navy sleeves.
Yep.
That is by far my most favorite shirt. France Euro 2000 is a close second. I've thought about this.
I knew you
You
would.
had a podcast.
So
on this.
soccernomad.wordpress.com, so on and so forth. Anyway, the one that I would like the most, there's a couple. So the Inter away shirt from the year after they won the treble, it's got the snake here.
Yeah.
Love that. The Arsenal 2000 shirt, the navy blue Dreamcast. They only wore it like 2 or 3 times.
Dreamcast.
I love that shirt. I love that shirt. I'm trying to get my brother to, who's an Arsenal fan, to Christmas present, or you've been a great brother. Help me out.
See, I missed that one because I started to really start watching them in 2001, 2002. So I missed. I would see people in the pub with them. You can't find them.
So I feel that one of the best designed MLS kits of all time is the SKC from a couple years ago. It's all white with silver. So the Argyle Ivy logo is in silver. The Adidas
You're kind of an
red.
Argyle-ophile, though.
Oh, I love Argyle. Yeah, So that's like one of my favorite. There was a Vancouver Whitecaps home. Did the sea to stripe thing from a couple years ago. I felt it was really well done. The original MLS jerseys are hot trash, but it was a moment in time, and we have to live with that.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention awaydaysfootball.com.
Boom.
Home Before Dark sponsor. Use promo code HB4D to get 15% off. Now an official sponsor of the podcast.
Yes.
That's a good way to mention it.
It was
right
awesome seeing all the jerseys at the FIFA tournament.
Yeah.
Dynamo Zagreb.
Are you allowed to say how
Rosenborg.
many that you believe went through the code while it was for while the proceeds were going to Clarkston?
Yeah, we had approximately 200 mystery kits
Wow.
purchased in the span of 3 weeks. So thank you guys so much for that. Continue
Boom.
those efforts. Like I said, now funds will go to support us so that we can at least pay for these equipments and mishaps in some way.
We've got a few minutes before Siempre United is going to take over for the Espanol edition of this podcastathon. And so what I want to do is, what do you guys think? U.S. Open Cup rematch, Charleston. What's the score?
3-1 worked for me last night. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, man.
That did work for me last
by the
night.
way,
Put that
I
on
didn't
the
do the
grill,
prediction
too.
on my own prediction league. However, I did meet Alex, the social media runner for Terminus Legion, on Marta going, and then met with him again coming from. I said 3-1 to him. He can prove it. I called it.
Okay, so what was your entry in the website?
I didn't put one.
Cheater. All right, what do you
I'm
think?
going to go 4-2 Atlanta.
Wow, 4-2 Atlanta. So I think with the mixed bag of what we'll see played, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 2-1 Atlanta.
I'll say 2-0 Atlanta.
Yeah. So we got some. Yeah. Well, you're gonna get your chance over here. You know, you're taking over. So
yeah. 1-0.
Yeah.
You can say that in un momento.
So hang on, especially if you're Spanish-speaking listeners. We got the one and only Siempre United coming over for the takeover, the podcastathon. I believe we're losing.
Vamos, muchachos.
We're losing AJ and
AJ. You want to do a
and
sign
team,
off with
so-
everybody? Tell them where they can find you. I mean, clearly they found you on YouTube. Thank you so
Give your
much.
plug.
Yes, thank you so much for facilitating that. But nonetheless, yes, we answered all the questions. Manage that. Manage that. So again, AJ, thank you so much for
Thank you guys
helping
so much.
and
Yeah.
helping put this together and making sure that this happened and facilitated. Really appreciate it.
No, you guys killed it with your your promotions to get people to donate. That was insane, and you guys are commendable for it, man.
Together, stronger together.
Exactly. Yeah, all these Atlanta United podcasts, like we need to work together more. I think this is like a big case of that. Like we've shown that we've done well together, and this is Good.
United. So where can they find Atlanta United Fan TV on Twitter, Instagram?
Absolutely. Yeah. So obviously you guys are watching on the YouTube stream. So follow us on Twitter, ATL UTD Fan TV, on Instagram, Atlanta United Fan TV, all spelled out, and on Facebook at ATL UTD Fan TV. So thank you guys so much.
And if you aren't subscribing already and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon to get a notification whenever they post it.
Definitely. On all these guys is on Home Before Dark, on Siempre United, on Soccer Down Here,
Soccer
on
Down Here,
Block Talk Radio, and on Unrelegated on YouTube and
Instagram,
podcatchers. Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, Unreal ATL. So.
Yeah, but on the Unrelegated, it's not a bell; it's a gun.
It's a gun.
Yeah, so be careful.
Yeah. It's
It might go off.
Take it away, fellas.
All right. Thank you, guys.
So we are live. What's this place called again? Oh, training ground. Yes.
Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Los Cracks.
Thank you, sir. In Spanish, queso. Queso. Hola, América, Estados Unidos y el mundo. Estás sintonizando Siempre United Podcast, el podcast en español del Atlanta United y el fútbol en general. Estoy acompañado de el chofer atómico, Eric Alexander. Nos acompaña también el más famoso de este podcast, el Sabrosura Vélez. Ahora es el Tasty Vélez. Muchachones, estamos aquí en el Atlanta United Training Ground. Estamos en el torneo, en el Champions League de Soccer in the Streets, una entidad sin fines de lucro que está recaudando fondos para llevar el fútbol a todas las esquinas de Atlanta. Estamos honrados de haber sido invitados. Aquí con nosotros está la gente de Soccer Down Here, Unrelegated Podcast, está Home Before Dark, Atlanta United Fan TV, todos los podcasts que siguen de alguna manera el fútbol del Atlanta United y el fútbol en general en el área de Atlanta. Estamos muy orgullosos de que nos hayan invitado y sencillamente pues estamos haciendo lo posible para llevar al equipo de Clashton a las regionales, recaudando fondos para el club y para la entidad que le lleva el fútbol a las comunidades más desventajadas. Eric,
¿qué está pasando?
Aquí tranquilos, contentos de estar aquí, pasándola bien, un día hermoso.
Agradecidos, contentos. Oye, llevábamos alrededor de 2 semanas sin grabar, ¿no? Por diferentes razones. Michael estaba en Arizona, yo estuve en Puerto Rico, Luis estaba visitando a los gatitos en Orlando.
Di una visita ya a los gatitos de Orlando. Tengo un familiar allá por...
Luis regresa y le quitan los privilegios a los supporter group de Atlanta. No sabemos si Luis tiene algo que ver con eso.
¿Habrá ido negativo para allá?
No sé, una gran posibilidad.
No, está brutal.
Que muchas cosas han sucedido desde nuestro último episodio.
Sí. By the way, mi gente, tenemos Instagram. Vayan a seguirnos allá en Instagram. Siempre UTD en Instagram. So, vayan y síganos. Lo acabo de hacer. Hay una sola foto.
Han estado pidiendo que nos sumemos a Instagram y ya el Tasty está respondiendo al llamado del público y hizo una cuenta de Instagram. Así es que pueden seguirnos en Instagram también, Twitter, Facebook, Siempre UTD, para que se mantengan al tanto, ¿no? Del único podcast en español del Atlanta United.
Sí. También quiero a Daniel el parcero, que siempre está metido en Instagram poniendo fotos bien interesantes.
Dani, papi, queremos un sombrerito. Yo quiero un sombrero para el estudio.
Quiero también saludar y felicitar a Nathan Sierra, que quedó campeón con el GPS Nacional de Puerto Rico. Fueron a Boston a jugar y quedaron campeones. Le dieron una zurra a todos esos equipitos de segunda que van allá. Pero pues...
este tipo nos
tira así que saluditos a Nathan. Felicidades, papi.
Nathan, tienes que practicar con la zurda. Lo único que voy a decirte. Felicidades a GPS Puerto Rico, que hizo un excelente trabajo allá en la ciudad de Boston, Massachusetts. ¿Había alguien más del área azul allá?
El único que conocía del equipo era Nathan.
Bueno, muchachones, yo creo que es momento de empezar a hablar lo que la gente quiere escuchar. El desempeño de Atlanta... Papi, nos están tirando con
en
todo.
vivo.
Nos están atacando.
Jay, that was a good one. That was a good call.
Pero Jay se tiró una barrera improvisada con 4 mesas ahí. I know. Muchachos, ¿qué ustedes creen del desempeño del equipo en las últimas semanas, ¿no? Porque queremos hacer un resumen por lo menos breve de lo que ha sucedido en el equipo.
Creo que la impresión que me da por los partidos que hemos tenido, la manera en que el equipo ha jugado, no necesariamente los resultados, pero sí, los resultados son una consecuencia directa del rendimiento del equipo. Creo que poco a poco el 3-5-2 se ha ido desgastando por el uso, por las rotaciones, por la gente que se ha lesionado, por la gente que han suspendido, y de alguna manera la gente entonces también empieza a ver videos del equipo, empiezan a prepararse mejor, empiezan a trabajar con esquemas y formaciones distintas para poder contrarrestar el efecto del 3-5-2 y la presión alta. Y la inhabilidad, esto combinado con la inhabilidad que ha tenido el United de simple y sencillamente terminar
la jugada,
definir las jugadas que ha creado, porque las oportunidades han creado oportunidades para hacerle daño. Lo vimos en el juego de Sporting Kansas City hasta la expulsión de Busan, lo vimos en el partido contra el Red Bull.
Muy por encima que sus rivales, ¿no?
Sí, yo creo que en el único partido donde verdaderamente el rival dominó en estos últimos partidos, dominó a Atlanta fue el Red Bull. En ese partido el Red Bull simple y sencillamente jugó mejor que nosotros.
Estoy de acuerdo. Pero, ¿qué tú opinas? ¿Cuál tú crees que es el factor por el que estamos siendo incapaces de terminar la jugada? Porque las oportunidades se siguen creando por manguera. O sea, estamos creando jugadas por montón en cada mitad del partido.
Yo diría que malas decisiones. Muchas individuales.
Individualidades.
Yo siento que, para serles sincero, yo siento que los rumores de transferencia han puesto un peso extra en ciertos jugadores y siento que eso se ha notado en la cancha.
En especial en Almirón.
En Miguel Almirón.
Sí.
He notado mucha presión últimamente en tratar de anotar y tal vez se ha puesto un poco goloso y hemos perdido oportunidades claras de anotar. ¿Tú crees que
no sabemos
los comentarios de la transferencia han puesto un poquito de presión sobre su
eso es lo que te iba a traer.
En lucir y superar las expectativas?
Eso es lo que te iba a traer. No
sí.
sé si el papá le estará metiendo presión de que, mira, no, nosotros nos vamos, tienes que meter más goles, tienes que lucir mejor, y le estén metiendo mucha más presión para que él quiera brillar sobre todos los demás.
No queremos ser injustos, no es fácil sentarnos aquí detrás de un micrófono y decir que meter goles en la MLS es fácil.
Es claro.
Pero sí sigo pensando que es un factor porque él tuvo un comienzo de temporada excelente. Miguel Almirón se veía imparable y luego de que empezaron a sonar con más fuerza esos comentarios de transferencia, sí hemos visto como no ha lucido como al principio de temporada, ¿no?
A veces se nota como desencajado dentro de la formación.
Cierto.
Y queriendo hacer demasiado. En vez de hacerlo más sencillo, dicen que en el fútbol lo más sencillo es hermoso. Queriendo hacerlo más sencillo, intenta hacerlo más difícil.
Estoy de acuerdo.
Queriendo de alguna manera tal vez despuntar. Y la belleza del juego de Almirón es la facilidad que él tiene para crear situaciones para que otras personas tengan anotaciones sencillas. Y entonces querer hacerlo más complicado o más lujoso o más bonito termina frustrando oportunidades claras. Tomando tiros de ángulos sumamente difícil, tirando cuando la jugada más fácil era un pase filtrado o un layout a un compañero. Y en ese sentido, pues según va Almirón, va Atlanta.
Claro.
Almirón es el 10 del equipo, es el que le da esa transición rápida cuando el equipo recupera la pelota en la mitad de la cancha. Y está un poquito desencajado. Creo que ha intentado hacer mucho. Cuando las cosas no le han salido, es su confianza la que sufre y ahora mismo su confianza en sus habilidades debe estar en su punto más bajo.
Claro.
Y lo que tú dices es cierto, lo que Luis apunta también, la presión que debe estar recibiendo externamente, no necesariamente de su familia, pero de todo su medio ambiente, ¿no? Se ha sumado a que el equipo de alguna manera, a pesar de que ha dominado porque tiene buenas individualidades, ha jugado pobremente en estos últimos partidos.
Pero corrígeme si me equivoco. Su posición, la parte principal de su posición, ¿es anotar goles o crear jugadas?
Ambas.
Pero tiene que haber una principal.
Ambas. Él es un jugador ofensivo. Pero como él juega en una posición más retrasada en el campo, y en el 3-5-2 él tiene dos delanteros claramente posicionados frente a él, su
rol
es creación de situaciones para sus compañeros y
Sumarse.
y creación de situaciones para él también.
Sumarse al ataque, claro.
Porque sus compañeros van a abrir espacios, van a arrastrar marcas para que entonces él tenga una zona de acción más amplia frente a él.
Algo que ha sido bien comentado en las redes, ¿no? En las últimas semanas, en la fanaticada del Atlanta, es el arbitraje, ¿no? Y hemos comentado esto fuera de cámara y micrófono, como estamos creando una cultura de quejarnos demasiado sobre el arbitraje, cuando estamos creando y teniendo sobre 22, 23, 24, 25 tiros al arco por partido, cuando no concretamos en tantos tiros, el arbitraje no es factor. No lo es.
No.
Aunque tengamos un mal arbitraje en el partido, si tú tiraste 24 veces al arco y metiste un gol, hay un problema más grande que no es el arbitraje.
Claro.
A menos que vengas y veas que el portero tenga 19 salvadas de esas 23 tiros, pues ahí entonces es un super porterazo.
No hay que quitar el mérito. Los porteros de los equipos contrarios, o sea, como arreglando el revolú que acabo de decir, de nuestros oponentes, los porteros han tenido muy buenos partidos. Ayer el portero del Philadelphia Union tiró un partidazo.
Es uno de los mejores porteros de la liga.
¿Me entiendes? O sea, estamos teniendo todas las situaciones para seguir haciendo lo que hemos hecho y somos nosotros los que no estamos concretando.
Claro.
Le hemos quitado mucho peso a lo que deberíamos dárselo. O sea, no estamos concretando y se nos hace más fácil como fanáticos culpar al arbitraje.
Yo creo que los resultados negativos que ha obtenido Atlanta, y no es para alarmarse, porque ha perdido, pero ha seguido ganando.
Se nos va.
Saludos a... ¿Cuál es el nombre? AJ de Atlanta United Fan TV. Los resultados han sido una combinación de empates, derrotas y victorias. Pero en todas, el denominador común es la falta de definición que ha tenido el equipo. Situaciones creadas, un montón. Ezequiel Barco lleva más situaciones de gol creadas en los últimos partidos que 7 de los equipos de la liga.
He's stealing. Ok. Está robando, güey.
Hey, we want some of that. We want some of that. Come on, bring some love to us. There you go. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Oh, the plastic.
Eres el crack. Ok.
Mira, estamos aquí con la gente de Home Before Dark. La gente de Atlanta United Fan TV están con nosotros. Recuerden, Soccer in the Streets. Dónennos lo que puedan, hasta $1. Cualquier cosa hace la diferencia.
Si hacen una donación, por favor, utilicen el hashtag podcast para
Siempre United.
Tirarle su shout out y darle su
claro
reconocimiento y agradecimiento por lo que están haciendo.
Así mismo.
Siento que hay muchas maneras de ver lo que está sucediendo, ¿no? Muchas personas lo quieren ver como un macro, otras lo quieren ver individual, ¿no? Si vamos a los jugadores individual, no es por traerlo como siempre, pero un jugador que está teniendo muy buena temporada y al igual que Nagby, no se le reconoce es Ezequiel Barco. Está creando más jugadas que cualquier otro jugador en el equipo. Y simplemente porque no tiene más de 3 goles, creo que tiene 2 hasta el momento, o 3. 3 hasta el momento, no se le está dando el reconocimiento que sí está haciendo el trabajo por el que llegó a Atlanta.
Sí. Si me preguntan a mí si Ezequiel Barco valía 15 millones, todavía no hemos visto nada de lo que nos va a traer. Como jugador nos va a traer muchas alegrías y eventualmente cuando el mirón se mueva al fútbol europeo, el heredero natural de esa posición de media punta va a ser Ezequiel Barco.
Oye, y trayendo a nuestro amigo Daniel el Parcero, se fortalecen los comentarios de que llega Atlanta
Quintero.
Pues, yo lo veo difícil, pero se rumoran muchas cosas. Se decía de Falcao también. Recuerden que llegó la postemporada a Europa y los rumores y a las ligas sudamericanas también los rumores y todas las presiones externas para lograr mejores contratos están al azar, están por todas partes. Creo que River tiene un plan bien claro de lo que quiere hacer a futuro y Quintero es parte de esos planes. Yo veo a Quintero moviéndose primero a Europa que viniendo a Atlanta. ¿Que es una posibilidad? Sí, podría ser. Atlanta es el equipo que más está sonando en Sudamérica debido al gran flujo de jugadores sudamericanos que tiene. Ha hecho un buen trabajo en su mercadeo, ¿no? Y claro, suenan porque obviamente está ya la transacción de Miguel Almirón, ¿no? Ya hay un precedente de que Atlanta United se trae a Almirón, se trae a Ezequiel Barco, se llevaron a Leandro González Pires, a Franco Escobar. Pues claro que los clubes sudamericanos y los agentes en especial hacen su trabajo precisamente ahí diciendo, mira, Atlanta me dijo esto, Atlanta lo otro, o tal vez haciéndole un buen trabajo a su cliente dicen, mira, tira por ahí en una de las redes que Quintero se va de River a Atlanta. Nada se descarta, pero a la misma vez todo hay que verlo con suspicacia, ¿no? No necesariamente son infundados, pero no necesariamente hay que creerlo simple y sencillamente porque salió en Facebook o en el internet. Hay que tener mucho cuidado con los rumores.
O sea que Dani, parce, mueve tus contactos a ver si llega.
Sí,
llámate a River, mueve a tu gente en Colombia a ver
Daniel,
si no mandas a Quintero
primero,
para acá.
Daniel, primero el sombrero y después mueve tus conexiones.
El sombrero importante para engancharlo en el estudio aquí, ¿no? Porque hoy estamos outdoors.
Mi gente, quiero decirle que nos mandaron saludos desde Puerto Rico. Mi familia nos está viendo, nos mandaron saludos. Así que
saludos. Saludar a El Sabroso, a Freddy.
Saludar al gatito de Orlando, Leo, que es mi primo. Ese fue el que fui a visitar el fin de semana. Así que saludos a Leo y a mi otro primo Yadiel, que me dijeron que lo felicitara, que lo saludara también. Así que
ustedes saben por qué yo estoy contento, a pesar de que Atlanta no ha jugado bien en los últimos juegos. Porque Orlando lleva 4 derrotas corridas, papi.
Lo dijiste.
Y se lo dije en el episodio. Después de Atlanta no gana uno más. ¿Se lo dije o no se lo dije?
Sí.
Ahí, la temporadita está empezando, papito. La temporadita está empezando. Todavía le queda un montón de sufrimiento.
Muchachones, yo creo que este puede ser el último episodio antes del comienzo del Mundial.
Así mismo.
Nosotros vamos a seguir bregando en el Mundial, una edición especial.
Hashtag El Sabroso en el Mundial. Hashtag El Sabroso Mundialista. Sí. Vamos a tratar de enviarla al Sabroso Vélez para allá, para el Mundial de Rusia. A ver si lo secuestran por allá y lo venden en pedazos.
Van a ser muchos pedazos. Pero
saludos al Negativo García, que está como siempre esparciendo su negatividad por todas partes.